Students, we will start the session in 5 minutes. Okay. If you know any of your friends doing the Islam subject, Baba, you can share the link with your friends. Okay. Ask them to join as soon as possible. So we will start the session in 5 minutes. Shakeel sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir, you can start.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, absolutely, we are meeting after a long time. So, I hope you all doing well and you all safe. Right, we will start. So, this is our second set of free seminar. Today, inshallah, we are going to discuss about fiqhul usra or munakahat. In English, we say it's a family life or ideal Islamic family life. So that will be quite interesting topic, maybe since you're all youngsters. But it's a too responsible field to be implemented. So with that preface, we will get into the subject. I was planning some polling options, but since I cannot be, first I think I can't. It's okay. Right, okay. Now nobody can text it. We will listen to the story in the sense the lesson. Uh, at the end of the session, I will give time you all to raise the question regarding munakahat, only munakahat, family life only. You can ask the question. It's okay, no problems. I have the set of question at last, around 40 questions, short answer to self-evaluation for you all. At last we listed because I have prepared a polling option, so I cannot display it, right? Because I'm attending, it's difficult, right? If you all have any questions, write it down related to this topic, related to this topic. And at last you can ask the question, you can unmute and ask, or else you can write in the chat box also. Inshallah, hopefully this will be a wonderful session for you all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Right. Yeah, in the old syllabus they have used the word munakahat. But in the new syllabus, they are using the word fiqhul usra, because today's world, all the term they are changing into the word fiqh. The word fiqh mean, we know that it's a Sharia law, but the fiqh, there is a meaning in Islam that's called the deep knowledge. So for example, fiqhul usra mean a deep understanding, a deep knowledge in the family life, right? Munakahat also, that indicates that from the word nikah, right? Munakahat mean the rules and regulation related to family life. Okay, so the fiqh, the word is a common word here. The Sharia rules and regulation, the depth understanding. Usra mean in Arabic term we call family, right? Usratun or usra, we call it as a family. So the deep understanding, but here for O-level subject, we are not going to go that deep. The basic level of understanding, you have to aware of that. So if you are doing A-level Islam, you will have some more extension, but the knowledge in family life is very, very deep. So here we are going to understand some basic elements only, right? In a points form, right? Points form, not in a depth manner, but you must understand that, as since you're all 16 years old adult, you have to understand those topics, right? So before we go to the question, sorry, this lesson. So normally this is the way of explanation, my explanation, right? So before you go for the solution, you need to know the problems, right? So that is a life. The life is a, in life we can find always the problem first. After that only we have to go for the solution. Not the solution first, second problem, right? So we have to find the problems, identify the problems. So after once you identify the problem, then you can move on to the solutions, right? So now last 4 years paper, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, sorry, 5 years paper. 2016 onward, the syllabus has little bit altered, right? There was some amendments done. That means some were removed, some lessons were added. And the new syllabus, Fiqhul Usra, in terms of Fiqhul Usra, you can understand, you had to understand that before 2016, there were some topics they have included in grade 10 also. But in grade 10, they have removed everything, only Ajnabi Mahrami as a deep knowledge, they have put it as under the Mafahim al-Islamiyya. But in the grade 11, entire family life topics have included in grade 11, not in the grade 10. So grade 10, you can't find it any topic in family life, but in grade 11 only you can find there are major 3 topics. One is nikah, the basic conditions of the nikah. And the second one, ideal Islamic family. How should be an ideal Islamic family? That means the husband's responsibility, wife's responsibility, and children's responsibility towards the parents, and the parents' responsibility towards their children. And the third one is talaq, divorce and idda. So these are the major 3 areas you have to understand. So if you go through the past papers, even in MCQs also, so that MCQs I have prepared it as a poll, but I couldn't be able to display now. But at last I have the short answer question. All the MCQ questions, additionally more than that is included. So we will be discussing at last, right? So why I'm showing these part 2 questions, then only you will understand the percentage of the question coming from this particular lesson. So from 2019, you can see 2019, right? There was only 2 questions they asked in part 2, right? In MCQ, there are 2 or 3 questions, normally 2 or 3 questions, that also mostly repeated way. They're asking the types of talaq, khuluf, talaq topics they're asking, or else idda period of the woman, or husband passed away's woman, or divorced woman. Likewise, they're asking, or they're asking other type of talaqs, ila, uli'an. So such things they're asking. Ajnabi mahrami questions are there. So repeated way, last 5 years, I have gone through the papers. The same questions are repeated. So in that case, this topic is not that difficult. Even day-to-day life, you are aware of these topics. Only few areas that related to talaq is a bit difficult. You know, apart from talaq, other areas you can understand. The talaq little bit depth they have given, and key terms are there. You have to carefully understand. And today our society also practicing in a wrong way the talaq, and for what reason you can divorce. So it's a very sensitive topic, right? And very important things we have to understand very clearly. So I'll be explaining the Sri Lanka's method according to our syllabus, right? And 2019, they asked only 2 questions. Mention 2 conditions for proper talaq, right? Short notes question. So this is the only one question they have asked in between first 2 6 question. But in 2019, there was short note question. Short note on maintaining restriction related to ajnabi. So actually this is not comes under the Fiqhul Usra, but it's actually this is comes from grade 10 ajnabi mahrami restriction. Why I have added here, even in grade 11, there is a topic mahrams only mahram, but not the related to ajnabi mahrami restrictions. Right? Actually, then there is only one question they have asked in 2019 paper. Mention 2 examples of temporary mahrams, right? So this is a 2018 question, right? And the same thing, this temporary mahram in grade 11 also they have included under the nikah topic. At the same time, this topic is available in grade 10, ajnabi mahrami restriction. Mention 2 duties that children should perform to the parents. So this is 2018 as well as 2015, because in 2015 it was a old syllabus one. After 2016 it was changed. So that duties of the children towards their parents after the new syllabus change, it is included as 102 paragraph under the ideal Islamic family, right? But in 2015 backward, right, 2015 14, so you can before 2016 there was separate topic in grade 10, right? Duties of parents towards children, duties of husband and wife. So likewise a separate lesson was there. But after that they have asked this question 2018 also. So Main focus is understand the duties of the children towards their parent. Repeatedly they ask it, because since you are student, right, you must understand what is the duties you have to do to towards your parents. But they mostly they will not ask what are the parents duties towards the children, because sometimes you may misuse that type of things. You can demand from the parents, actually it's there in the syllabus, but they repeatedly they will be asking what children should understand about the responsibility and the duties towards your parents. And 2018, there was another question mentioned through reason for the polygamy being permitted. It's a very important thing, you know, the polygamy was not there. So in 2016 onwards, the polygamy topic was taken away from the syllabus. But 2018, they have asked the question, right? So then you have to understand, you have to have some basic idea about this polygamy, right? So just I'll be telling, because the polygamy topic is, I didn't include since it's not the syllabus, but they are asking this question. Simply, I will give the briefing about the polygamy. Polygamy means a man marrying more than one woman, right? According to Islam, 4 women can be married at the same time. At the same time, can marry 4 women, right? So in Islam, the polygamy is permitted. That means a man can marry 2 or 3 or maximum wife at the same time. There are conditions. There are conditions for the polygamy. So the polygamy is permitted, because Rasulullah's life is example for the polygamy. But Rasulullah is exceptionally given permission for the polygamy. Rasulullah married 11 wives. There are reasons for Rasulullah's polygamy, right? So if a person going to marry more than one woman, there should be valid reason. That's what I'm going to tell you. There should be valid reason. For example, number 1, that means he is not divorcing the wife. He is not divorcing the first wife. She will be there. At the same time, he is going to marry another one. That is we call polygamy. Yeah? For example, one person got married and he divorced the lady, and if he marries another one, this is not we call polygamy. This is not polygamy, because at a time he's having only one wife. At a time, if he's having 2 or 3 or 4, that is we call polygamy. Right? So already he got married. The main purpose of the second marriage is what? The first wife, permanent disease. She is suddenly affected by a permanent disease. Now she cannot look after the children. She cannot look after husband. She cannot do any work. Sometimes it can be a paralyzed or a disabled because of accident. So she became a permanent disease person. So definitely, though there are small kids, children are there to be looked after. So the husband also not requesting, but the wife understood the situation. That wife gave the permission to husband, better you have to have another marriage. Then he is not divorcing the lady. He is looking after the lady. The same time, he's having another woman to look after the children and for the other marriage purposes, right? That's the first condition. And the second condition, if there is any problem in the childbirth of that first wife, so sometimes there are problems are there. It can be from husband also there, wives also there. But if the problem identified by the doctor from woman's side, so that woman can give the permission to husband to have another marriage. So particularly very important thing for polygamy, according to Sharia, the first wife's agreement, right? Consent is very important, right? This is one of the second condition. And the third condition, so I'm still talking about why the reasons for the, I'm saying the reason for the polygamy. Reason for the polygamy, not for the question permitted. Why polygamy is permitted is different. Why polygamy is permitted different? I'm telling the reason for the polygamy, why a husband should marry more than one or can marry more than one, right? So another big issue is there, right? That's the reason also Islam is permitted. You can see the population, right? The male's population is less than the woman's population. Male's population is less than the woman population. So definitely, if everybody wants to have a one wife and one wife equally, so there will be a balance. There will be a big amount of balance. In Sri Lanka also there is around 45% and 55%. The women's are 55%, men's are 45%. There are different religions are there, but it's not a problem. But the women's ratio is comparatively more than man, right? So definitely, if a person marries at least 2, then only it will be equal. Otherwise, everybody wants to have only a one wife, and the girls or the women also, they need to have the husband only should marry them, means definitely there will be a balance, a group of people remaining. And what will happen, either they have to go as a second wife, otherwise without marriage they have to sacrifice their life. But in today's fitna world, it's very difficult. Sometimes they can fall into haram also. So to protect that one, definitely it should be allowed, the polygamy being permitted. So that The question can be different way. The reason for the polygamy also okay. Why the polygamy is permitted by, so sorry, the both can be, you can utilize for the same purpose, same question only. Islam has given the permission, but some people without knowledge, they ask the question, why this permission is given only for man in Islam? So Islam is violating women's right. Why this permission is not given to women? So if a woman marries, right, if a woman marries more than one man at a time, that is we call polyandry. That we call polyandry. This is a haram in Islam. This is absolutely haram in Islam. What is the reason for this, right? For example, a person marries more than one wife. Say, for example, he has married 3 wives. All 3 wives gave childbirth, right? Say, for example, 3 children. Definitely, the father also absolutely clear. Who is the father? This particular person, say, I say A. And 3 wives, I say X, Y, Z, right? These 3 people only mother. For example, the children, I will say 1, 2, 3, right? So who is the father of this number 1? A. Father of number 2 also A. Father of number 3 also A. Who is the mother? Clear. That also very clear, because you know in Islam we have to use our father's name as an initial. So father should be very clear, right? Even Allah said, Rasulullah said, on the day of judgment they will be calling along with your father's name, right? That's what you can say. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, right? They use the word the father's name only. For example, Abdullah ibn Umar. So Abdullah is the original name, but in the hadith books everywhere they are using the word Ibn Umar. Umar radiallahu son. So the father's name is attached to that. On the day of judgment also, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will be called along with your father's name. So father is very important. Even after the marriage, according to Islam, we should not change. For example, the woman's name, they are changing for the husband's name. It's not a haram in the sense, it's not allowed. You can use your parents, for example, Zainab, father is father is Akbar Mein. You can use the word your father's name. No need to change it. Your husband's name is replacing your father's name. You can continue with your father's name, right? So, but if the polyandry is permitted in Islam, that means a woman is marrying. Suppose say this A is a woman, XYZ is a man, right? Men. Then if they got married, they got the children 1, 2, 3. Mother is very clear, but who is the father? Who is the father? Because that will be the confusion. So mother, who is the mother? A is the mother. So I'm changing the same question opposite way. Yeah. So A is a woman, right? And XYZ is a men. And who is the mother? Mother is clear, right? But confusion is there. Who is the father of these 3 children? Or even a one child, right? Only one child was born, right? Number 4. And the mother is okay, but whose name will be as initial, right? Father will be confusion. This is the first reason why polyandry is not allowed in Islam. And the second reason is a scientific reason. If a man have a relationship after the marriage, a legally permitted marriage, so he is having a sexual relationship with 3 wives, right? It will not cause for any kind of sexual diseases. But if a woman have multiple relationship with multiple men, it will cause for sexual disease. So there are scientific reasons, they are very clear, evidence is there, right? So that's the reason Islam has given the permission for the polygamy. There's rational reasons are there, right? Logical reasons only. I have told there can be issues related to the wife, right? There can be issues related to the society. That's the reason the polygamy is permitted in Islam. Right, because why I explained this question now itself, because the topic is not there in the slides, since it's not there in the new syllabus topic, but they're asking the question. Huh? Right, explain the situation lihar ending in the divorce. This is 2017, they ask about the question lihar. State 2 aims of marriage according to the Sharia. So what are the main purposes of marriage? This will be the first topic of grade 11. 2017, they ask this question. Mention 3 persons that are temporarily prohibited for a male to marry at the same time. Right, so who are the people? Temporary mahrams. 2017, they asked for 3 marks question. What are the meanings of ijab and qabul? So this question is related to even in muamalat, financial transaction, as well as munakhat, family life also you can use it, ijab and qabul, right? Sometimes they will clarify that in terms of marriage, then you have to mention ijab mean who is related to the ijab and qabul, right? Explain the mahramis formed through family relationship. Now remember that the word family relationship means it's a blood relationship. Huh? So most of the time they are using the word family relationship. then you can understand it's a blood relationship. 2015 as well as 2016 also they asked this question, write 2 furrows of marriage. There are 4 conditions or 4 furrows of marriage, and they asked for 2 furrows for 2 marks question. So these are the question the last 5 years in the part 2. MCQ, at last I will be giving the short answer question, and I will tell the answers also, then you can understand. Now you know the problem, right? So it's very easy lesson for the exam actually, but it's a difficult lesson for the practical, right? It's very difficult lesson for the practical, but this is easy level for the examination purpose, right? Now we will go into the lesson. Right, marriage Islamic perspective. So I will be starting this topic with the hadith situation of Rasulullah, one of the narration from Aisha radiallahu an. There was an occasion, incident happened in between Aisha radiallahu an and 3 Sahabas. I think you heard this story, right? So they visited to Rasulullah, but Rasulullah was not there. And the Aisha radiallahu anha was there. And she was asking what the reason the purpose of your arrival. Then they said, we wanted to aware of Rasulullah's ibadat or his lifestyle, particularly his lifestyle and his ibadat particularly. Then Aisha radiallahu was explaining how Rasulullah performed nighttime prayers, how Rasulullah fasting. Every week Rasulullah used to fast 2 days a week. Monthly Rasulullah's fasting and Rasulullah's qiyamul layl. So she was explaining. After that, these 3 people was shocked and they said, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's a prophet, right? He's a prophet of Allah. And he's the most pious person in the world actually. So even if he is such a way he is performing towards Allah, I mean, we also have to do at least closer to that. You must understand, right? So Rasulullah is already forgiven person. He is a ismat. Ismat means free from sin. Even after that, Rasulullah is doing more ibadat, right? So once Rasulullah was praying in Qiyamul Layl, and what happened, he was standing for a long time, right? So his lengthy rakats only he used to perform. So his legs has been swollen, right? So Aisha radiallahu anha asking, Ya Rasulullah, why are you suffering a lot? Why are you suffering a lot? You are a prophet of Allah, right? Allah has forgiven your entire sins. Everything is forgiven. Why are you doing such? Then Rasulullah said, I want to be thankful to Allah, right? I should be grateful to Allah because Allah has given all these blessings and all the gifts Allah has given to me, right? And rahmat, Allah's satisfaction, Allah's rila is given to me. So I want to be a thankful person to Allah. That's what I am performing this. So that's the reason Rasulullah is performed. So these people understood that if Rasulullah is performing such a way, we have to do at least 1% more than that. Otherwise, at least closer to Rasulullah. Then one Sahabi told, hereafter I will not sleep at night. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pray whole night. I'm not going to sleep. And the other Sahabi said, hereafter every day I will be fasting. Every day. That means 30 days in a month I will be fasting. That means 365 days I'm going to fast, including Ramadan also. And the third one said, I will not marry anyone. I will not marry anyone. So I want to do, because if I marry, I couldn't be able to focus on this. So I'm not going to marry. So by the time Rasulullah has come, and Rasulullah asked, what about these people's matter? Then Aisha radiallahu anha explained the story, all the story. Then Rasulullah called these 3 Sahabas and said, you have to understand one more thing. I'm the most pious person in the world, right? I'm the most pious person in the world. Because, I have gone to heaven. I have seen the punishment in hellfire during my Miraj. Right, I have visited the Arsh, right, and Sidratul Muntaha. There's a place closer to the Arsh. Even Jibril alayhi salam cannot reach, but I have gone there. So I have seen Allah. Then definitely Rasulullah said, if you see what I have seen, definitely you will not marry. Definitely you will not marry. But I have seen all those stuff, all those things I have seen. But even though I don't fast every day, weekly 2 days only I fast. I don't pray whole night. At night, third part of the night only I'm praying. What about the marriage life? I have married more than 4 actually, right? At the time Rasulullah married, I remember around 8 or 9 Rasulullah married. And equally Rasulullah treated them, even though Rasulullah ibadat cannot be beaten by anyone. Cannot be beaten by anyone. Even Rasulullah has more marriages, cannot be beaten by anyone. So last part Rasulullah said, right? Don't neglect my sunnah. Don't neglect my sunnah. One who neglect my sunnah, he is not from my ummat. He is not one of among my ummat. Man raghiba an sunnati falay minni. Those who are neglecting my, at last Rasulullah said, an-nikahu min sunnati. Marriage is my sunnat. You are marrying. The reason is because Rasulullah said it's a sunnah. So that's what I'm marrying. Then it is an ibadat. You must understand, marriage is ibadat. Marriage is sadaqatul jariyah. And marriage is a divine contract, right? It's, you know, most of the agreements are there. Ijab Kabul agreement in the financial transaction, you are in between two person only. But the marriage is a contract in the name of Allah. You must understand that, right? So in the name of Allah, we are doing this that's a holy contract, right? And it's a very important thing. Rasulullah said, Rasulullah didn't attach that statement to any ibadat, but Rasulullah attached to his nikah. One who marries, he has completed 50% of Islam. Half of the Islam is completed if you marry. The reason is what? If one person married, he will be protected from sin. He will be protected from most of the sins. So that indicates that he is not going to perform most of the haram things. That equal 50% of your iman is completed. But the rest of the iman, that means balance 50%, half of the iman, you have to be pious. You have to be fear of Allah. You have to be fear of Allah. Rasulullah said that second part is you are responsible. You have to be a pious person, right? So in Islamic perspective, marriage or nikah is highly recommended, not farl. We should not say that farl. Highly recommended sunnah. We call it sunnah muakkada. Sunnah muakkada, highly recommended sunnah. So Rasulullah said, this is my sunnah, right? So they have a number of scholars in the history, they didn't marry because of the contribution towards knowledge. I can't remember exactly. I think Imam Nawawi Rahmatullah, right? Imam Nawawi Rahmatullah, he passed away when he was 48 years, right? So it's an early stage, 48 years he passed, but he didn't marry. The reason why he didn't marry, because of he wants to contribute to the field of knowledge. Because he contributed to the field of knowledge. So if he marries, he cannot contribute to the field of knowledge. So he has to look after the family and responsibilities are there. That's the reason he didn't marry, right? So he has contributed. So you know how much he contributed. The scholars, they did a research and they said, right? He has written number of books, right? Plenty of books he has written. So all the books, the page numbers are there. So for example, say he has written around 300 or 400 books, all the big volume books, 400 books, right? Each book's page numbers are there. Each book's 400 pages, 1000 pages, 2500 pages. All the page numbers, if you add it and divided by his age, 48 years into 365, right? The 48 years into 365 means that days, number of days, you will get number of days. So that number of days will be there. If you divide it, you will get the answer. That means per day, how many pages he has written, you know, per day, how many pages he has written. But actually, from the beginning only we have calculated the 48 years mean from the birth. But actually, nobody write any articles or anything from the birth. But actually, he has started right after 16. But the scholars have taken from the first, right? From first. So to show that how much he contributed, right? If you divide it, it will be around 40 plus. 40 plus. That means per day from the birth, if he writes 40 pages, then only he can write this much of books. But he didn't write from the birth. He wrote after 40, 15, 16 years only, right? If a person want to write one page, actually, you know, in the publishers, you know, own articles, own research articles, not copying from anything. For example, if I want to write an explanation for one surah, right? My own explanation, if I want to write for at least one page, if I want to write at least minimum 100 pages, I have to read any references. So that how much he has read and how much he has written. That's the reason he didn't marry. So because to contribute to the knowledge. So there is an excuse. Such excuses are there. But it depends on the reason, right? Islam as a family-based religion, it's a family-based religion. So if a person cannot avoid that we call the person is avoiding the worldly life, right? Worldly life completely, no business, no marriage, nothing. This is we call rahbaniya. This we call rahbaniya. This is haram in Islam. Rahbaniya is not allowed. That means avoiding worldly life completely. Avoiding worldly life completely. It's not allowed in Islam. You have to equally balance. You have to equally balance it. And family is the seed for a society. Because Rasulullah said it's a sadaqatul jariyah. And good families form good society, because good individuals, right? The collective individuals form good families. Good families. The good families form a good society. The very good example in Medina. So the good families have created good society. That good society only end of the day created Islamic civilization, established a civilization in the history. And Rasulullah Sallallahu, this is a Quranic statement. And marry those among you who are single. Al Quran has mentioned that if you are single, you have to marry. But the Quran has mentioned, sorry, Sunnah has mentioned the condition. What are the conditions for the marriage? Some people, they always ask the question, what is the suitable age for the marriage? There is no suitable age. In Sri Lanka, there is age limit is 19, 20, 21. For men and women, different age limits are there. But that is not there's a law, there's a law. But the readiness is very important. What is the readiness? These are the two conditions. Physical fitness is very important, right? And the economical strength also very important for the marriage. If you are capable of in the physical fitness and economical, you can look after that. So your father is a rich person, right? If you marry, your father will look after me. Ask your so that is not a way. You have to look after your family from your own income. Then only it will be the prestige and the respect for husband and wife together. Otherwise, the society would say that the father is looking after his wife. So that then the men mean they should have some kind of bravery. That is we call the bravery. You have to depend on your own income and own strength, right? So no need to depend on your parents, no need to depend on anyone. So depend on you, right? Even when the problem comes in between husband and wife, you have to depend on solve the problem on your own. So no need to allow a third party to third party. The sense I'm saying the other family members comes in, the problem will be expanded, right? I have explained one of the two hadiths I explained, one in situation of Rasulullah between the three Sahabas, and the other one is I said Rasulullah said those who marry and they have completed 50% of their iman. It is sunnah for youth to marry when he is or she is strong, right? It's very important thing. It's a sunnah muakkada. I said the highly recommended sunnah. And if a youth feel that he or she will fall into the sin, sometimes that's a human nature. You must understand Islam is not prohibited marriage, but some other religions are prohibited. Other religion, mean even other religion, Christianity, even Buddhism, Hinduism, they have given that secluded life. The secluded life means completely they are ignoring the worldly life and they don't marry. So for example, you can take the Christians, right? They don't marry, the father sisters are there. But you must understand Allah has created every man with a kind of a feeling. That means that they have that sexual feeling is there. So that is a reason to fulfill that sexual intention and the feeling. Islam has given a permission. There is a way to fulfill. So the way to fulfill it's a nikah, right? Otherwise, you will be falling into haram. Then one Sahabi came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, I have that I have that intention. I have that intention in the sense, the feeling is too much. So I wanted to marry, but Ya Rasulullah, I don't economically strength. I'm not economically strength. What is the solution for this? Rasulullah said, if you want to fulfill your need in a halal way, right, you should have the economically strength person. If you are not strong in economics, the financial way, Rasulullah advised to fast. Fasting will control your feeling. Fasting would control your feeling, because during month of Ramadan, you see, even our people never watch teledramas also, right? They don't watch any teledrama movies because that fasting gives a kind of a spirituality, right? And even the Sunnat fasting, Ashura or Taswa, whatever it's there, we avoid almost everything. Next day we repeat it, right? That is a different story. So you must understand the fasting protect us. Even the people who are always watching or looking at the women's, right, unwanted stuff, non-fasting days, when it comes to the fasting day, they avoid it because they respect the fasting, right? So that's what Rasulullah said. If you can't control that, otherwise we fall into the haram. That means actually the prostitution. You have to fast, Rasulullah. But if you can't fast, because the fasting, it's around 50% for 40%, you can't fast throughout the day. No, throughout the day, they say throughout your lifetime you can't fast, right? So you have to marry. For such people, it's wajib. If you're scared of falling in haram or prostitution, then you have to marry. It's the compulsory wajib. For those people, it's wajib. If not, they will go to haram way, right? So these are the purpose of marriage. They mostly sometimes they ask the question, right? This is my personal advice also to my youngsters, right? So when I was doing the classes, always I tell them the most of the things, because this is a sensitive topic actually, but we people always think it's sensitive topic and we are not talking. I'm just asking how many of you children children ask about the marriage life and how to look after the wife, how to select your life partner, did you ask this question to your parents? No one, definitely no one. Even we never ask, because such a way only our family members are brought up, right? And they also brought up us the same way. We never talk any sensitive topics. That's the problem. We try to find it from a illegal way. Sometimes we discuss with the friends, we try to watch it, we try to access the internets, and we try to understand those stuff. So if I'm not saying that the marriage mean, obviously I'm saying the most of the people think marriage mean it's a physical need. They are thinking it's a physical intention or physical feelings to fulfill, sexual feeling to fulfill. But if a person have that intention and if he got married, mark my word, he will be failure after 3 days, after 1 week or after 1 month. He will be 100% disappointed with the family life, because that is not the purpose of the marriage. That is a 5% of the marriage. That is just a 5%, right? The physical need or the sexual feelings to be fulfilled in halal way through marriage is just a 5% of that contribution. The balance 95% is a vast life you have to live, understanding in each other, helping each other, right? Talking to each other, right? Giving gifts, different occasions. So there are multiple things are there. So that's very important thing in Sri Lanka. A number of Muslim counselors are doing pre-marriage counseling. And before the marriage, you have to consult. Just 2-3 hours, they will advise how to select, right? If you are a boy, they will advise you how to select your life partner, how to select your wife. And if you are a woman, they will say how to select your husband, right? So not because of the financial status, not because of the beauty, not because of the family respect. Focus the spiritual things, religious things, even a husband selection or wife selection. It's very important. Islam is advising you, right? You have to find whether your life partner is a pious person or not, right? He's praying 5 times without missing, and he's more keen to look after the family members, and he's very interested and engaged in practicing Islam, right? And when you talk to him, you can remember Allah, because such a way some people are there, when they talk, even every time they always the outline of the speech is what they seems like they're very religious people, right? They are not pretending, but it is truly, when you talk to them, when you look at them, you can remember Allah. So such type of people only you have to find it, not because of the person who is very rich financial. Rasulullah said a woman can be married for 3 purposes. Rasulullah said mostly the men's normally they don't focus on that way. The women's are married based on 3, because we people, that men marry women for 3 reasons. One is for beauty. Rasulullah said that also not work out, because the beauty, end of the day, one day it will be perished. It will be perished, that beauty. And the second one is wealth. Because of wealth or family respects, some societies in the families are highly respected. Families are there during Jahiliyyah period. Some families are respected, right? And that also one day they will lose the respect. And the third one is the religion. One who marry a woman because of her religion, he will be sustaining in happy life till his death, right? That will help him to succeed in the day of judgment, right? So the very important thing, look at this one. These are the main for creating a righteous generation, because you husband and wife, they create a very good generation, righteous, pious generation. The children will be very good children, right? They'll be asking dua for you. The second one, creating physical and mental peace. I said the physical peace is just only 5% contribution. The mental peace is very important. When a husband comes from the work, so wife should welcome with a smile. If wife has a problem, husband should console her. This is we call mental peace. Creating is created based on the righteous way, and all the collective families will be forming a sound social or well-established social structure. And it's an ibadat, very important thing. The nikah is a ibadat, right? Okay, so this is Ajnabi Maharami restrictions, and already you have understood this topic in grade 10 also. I'm a little bit faster, right? Okay. Those who we can marry, we call it's ajnabis. Those who we can't marry, it's not permitted to marry, that we call mahrams, right? The word mahram, it's formed from the word haram, right? The word from word haram only, it's evolved as mahram. Okay, so haram means prohibited. Okay, mahram is prohibited to marry. Okay, so there are three types of mahrams are there. The mahrams through blood relations, sometimes they use the word family relationship. Family relationship. The examples I have given: mother, mother's mother, children or children's children, fathers and mother's sister. That means we call aunties, right? But remember that mothers and fathers, sisters, kids are not mahram. Huh? You can marry. For example, my mother's sister is mahram for me. I can't marry her because she is like my mother, right? And my mother's sister's daughter, I can marry because the cousin sister we call it. But in Sri Lanka, we are treating them as a sister, but they are cousin sisters. Then we can marry them. So you can't have a time alone with them, right? Is haram if you want to talk to them if they are in adult age. So you have to have, they are one of mahram should be there along with them. Mahram in the sense you can't call that girl's younger brother and you can't talk. Huh? So there should be an elderly person and then only you can talk to them. So relationship through marriage. After the marriage, there are relations comes as a permanent mahrams, right? Sorry. Wife's parents, actually mother-in-law, right? Wife's parents will become permanent mahram even after the marriage. Suppose if you divorce your wife, even if your wife passed away, even though she will be, your mother-in-law will be permanent mahram. You can't marry her, right? Wife's mother's mother, grandmother, daughters. I mean, my daughter, suppose after the marriage, my daughter, the daughters born of your wife's, my kids, right? My kids, actually, daughters mean my kids. Daughter-in-law, my son's wife, grandson's daughter. So such a way it will be going. Huh? And the last one is relationship through breastfeed. Sometime after the childbirth, if mother passes away, right? And sometime there will be a wet nurse, right? The lady who breastfed, we call it wet nurse, right? So if suppose a lady breastfed, for example, I will take an example, one of your neighbor, right? One of your neighbor is very close neighbor and they are like one of your family member. So she is the one who breastfed you. So automatically she will become your mother. She will become your mother. There are two conditions for the breastfeeding. Just because of, how do they call that? Just because if you touch, you have to take it like this. The two conditions there. Huh? The child should have been within 2 years old, right? Within 2 years only breastfeeding is allowed. After 2 years, they can't do that, right? At the time of breastfeeding, the child should be less than 2 years. Condition number one. Number two, the child must have satisfied the hunger by drinking at least 5 directly, right? 5 times directly from the breast. Directly, because today there are some gadgets are there, right? There are gadgets are there. If the wife is working, so 3 times she has to breastfeed, right? So she can't take the child to office. So what they are doing, there are some gadgets they are taking. They are taking the breast milk and they're filling in the bottle and they are feeding. So this is the indirect method, right? Sometime the father decides, no need to give my child to another person, right? You please give us the milk. So using that gadget, they can take the milk and they are feeding. So indirectly they are feeding. So they have to feed directly. It's very important, nah? Directly the child 5 times, 5 times. At the same time, the child should be satisfied the child's hunger. So these are the major 2 conditions to become a mahram through breastfeeding. So if she breastfed, and the lady who breastfed will become mother. Actually, she will become a mother, right? And that lady's mother is there, then she will become a grandmother. And this lady's mother-in-law, and this lady's sister, this lady's children of the lady who breastfed, everyone will become mahram of that particular child. The children of that lady who breastfed will become sisters and brothers of that particular child. Okay, so these are the major 3 permanent mahrams we cannot marry. And temporary mahrams are there, right? Temporary mahram. So here I didn't mention that. I'm going to mention one by one. Temporary mahram. Who are the temporary mahrams, right? Number 1, wife's sister, right? Wife's sister is a temporary mahram. Wife's sister is a temporary mahram. That means at the same time, a person cannot marry two sisters. That's the Rasulullah's hadith. For example, a person, I got married, a girl, and she has a sister. That sister will become a temporary mahram until I divorce that particular wife, my wife, or else if wife passes away, she will become ajnabi for me. So temporarily she is mahram. That means at the same time I'm having this wife and I can't marry her sister. At the same time I can't marry both the sisters. That is Islam has prohibited. Rasulullah said cannot marry, right? So wife sister is a temporary mahram. Second one, non-Muslim, right? Cannot marry non-Muslim or a mushrik woman, right? Mushrik woman, until she accepts Islam, she is temporarily mahram. You cannot marry. It doesn't mean that you can talk to her alone. You must understand here that temporary mahram in the sense, right? You have to maintain the relationship as if ajnabi, as if they are ajnabi. For example, your wife's sister, a mushrik woman, you have to maintain she is ajnabi actually, right? But why it's temporary mahram? Because there is a barrier. There is a barrier is remaining. She is a non-Muslim. So until she accepts Islam, for that's a barrier for marriage, barrier for the marriage. So the same way ajnabi relationships restrictions are there. You can't spend time lonely time with her because of she's a temporary mahram, but she is a ajnabi actually. Why she is a temporary mahram? She is not a Muslim, right? If she accepts Islam, she will become the ajnabi, right? That is for the ajnabi to marry, yeah, for the marriage purpose. And the third one, another person's wife, another one's wife, another person's wife, another person's wife also. She is ajnabi actually. Basically, they are ajnabi. You can't spend the time. Here, why we are saying the temporary mahram in terms of marriage, right? Until that particular husband divorces her or that husband passed away. Then after that only, there are two barriers are there. Two barriers, the two conditions are removed, then she will become a ajnabi, then you can marry, right? And the fourth one, third talaq divorced woman. Third talaq divorced woman. So this topic at last we'll study in the topic of talaq. Third talaq divorced woman also considered as a temporary mahram, cannot be married by that first husband. Okay, so these are the major temporary mahrams in Islam. Okay, right. So I already explained this one. The conditions to become mahrams due to the breastfeeding. The child should have been within 2 years old at the time of breastfeeding. So the second one, the child must have satisfied the hunger by drinking 5 times directly from the breast. So if you want, you can take the screenshot. Huh? It's like almost the short notes for you all. Huh? Right. So temporary mahrams as follows. I have mentioned here more than 4, right? So wife, sister cannot marry sister simultaneously. Cannot marry a woman and her father's sister simultaneously. Cannot marry a woman and her mother's sister simultaneously. So almost there comes under the sisters category. Yeah? Wife, sister, father's sister, mother's sister simultaneously. Wife of another person, a woman who was pronounced the third talaq, and mushrik woman, and the last one is very important, prostitutes. Prostitutes we can't marry. Obviously, she is a temporary mahram until she asks tawbah. That you have a doubt. Temporary mahram means is a temporary mahram. So after there's a barrier. There is a barrier. Once the barrier is removed, that condition is removed, you can marry. What is that condition? Tawbah. If she asks tawbah, for example, most of the prostitutes are unmarried, right? Unmarried prostitutes tawbah is what? 100 lashes. So a country like in Sri Lanka, they are not giving 100 lashes. So they have to ask tawbah directly from Allah. After that, if anyone willing to marry, they can marry. But if a married person prostitutions, tawbah is what? Death sentence. Death sentence is tawbah. You must understand. Prostitutes after the marriage, she has committed another illegal relationship. Now she is a prostitute means not a basic like a for the commercial purpose, but illegal relationship. And the punishment is what? Death sentence. Once the death sentence is given, stoning to death, right? Stoning to death. Once the punishment is given, she will become a pious, she will become pure person, right? She will be eligible to paradise because all the sins are forgiven in this world. So what is the tawbah for them? That 100 lashes if it's an unmarried, if it is the unmarried, if it's a married person, mean stoning to death will be the tawbah for them. Right. So these are the major conditions of nikah, right? Without these conditions, we cannot fulfill a nikah. These conditions should be followed. If the conditions, one of the condition is missing, right, the agreement will become void or null. So it will be one of the type of divorce also. We call it as a fasakh, right? So there are major 4 conditions are there. First one is very important, bride and bridegroom, so husband and wife. Bride and bridegroom is a very important condition. So who can be a bride and bridegroom? Being a Muslim, both should be Muslim. Being an ajnabi, both should be ajnabis, not mahrams, right? And not in the status of ihram. You know that in Hajj you have studied, while wearing ihram, you can't marry, you can't go for the marriage agreements, you can't do kind of any marriage talks also. So not in the status of ihram. While wearing ihram for Hajj and Umrah, you cannot marry, you can't go for any nikah agreement. Should not be a wife of another, because it's a temporary mahram. So if she is another person's wife, then she wants to be divorced, or else the husband should be passed away, not killed, okay, passed away. Should not have 4 wives. That's a very important thing, because in Islam there are maximum 4 women can marry. So one person have 4 wives. Now he can't marry a 5th one, right? He can't marry a 5th one. Suppose the 4th one got divorced, or 4th one passes away, can marry another one to maintain the 4th one, right? Continuously 4. Not in the status of idda. During idda period also, we cannot go for any kind of marriage agreement and marriage talks, right? So these are the conditions should be fulfilled under the bride and bridegroom. You must understand, most of the questions they ask conditions, the conditions. So you can add bride and bridegroom, ijab kabul, wali, shahid. Suppose if they ask the question, what are the specific conditions are relied under bride and bridegroom, then you have to explain, mention these points, right? Ijab. Ijab is declaration. Who is doing the declaration? Wali is doing the declaration. Wali, who is wali? Bride's father. The girl's father will be the guardian of bride, right? Guardian of bride will be declaring. So he will be declaring. So most of the boys can understand, because they have attended number of nikah function at mosque, and even home also they are attending. So the person who is the registrar will be holding both the wali and groom's hand, both the walis and groom's hand together, and the wali will be telling that, wali will be declaration, he will be declaring, right? So I am giving my daughter, for example, daughter's name I say Fatima, my daughter Fatima, right, as a halal wife to you. On the mahar payment amount, you can say 100,000 value gold, 200,000 gold, or 550,000. It's not a problem. Amount is not a problem. Even 1,000 rupees also you can give, no problem. Anything you can give. Assets you can give, money you can give, any type of property you can give, no problem. Halal wife, I'm giving my daughter as a halal wife to you. And that's a declaration. In front of everyone, he has to utter the word, express the word. And Kabul is what? Acceptance. So the bride is, groom, the husband, he is going to accept it. He will say 3 times, Kabiltun nikah, Kabiltun nikah, Kabiltun nikah. I accept this marriage. I accept your daughter Fatima as my halal wife on the said mahram. That's mahar, 100,000 gold value mahar. So I'm accepting. Once this is we call nikah, done. According to Islam, the written format is not compulsory. Verbal statement is very important. Now the nikah is done. For the Sri Lankan common law, there should be registration, right? A written format. There should be a copy, no, because marriage copies are now today's world. It's required, right? For the for the organization, schools, they are requesting father and mother marriage document, because they want to make sure that the child is from the healthy generation, right? There's a father and mother, legal father and mother, right? So kabiltun nikah. So in the society, and in front of all these people, that person is accepting as she's as my wife. So everyone is witness almost. Everyone is witness almost, but only 2% will be signing. Only 2% will be signing. That is we call shahid, witness, right? So witness also should be male. Woman cannot be a witness. There should be 2 witnesses. One is from bride side, one is from bridegroom side. One is from bride side, another one from the bridegroom. So we'll see who can be wali, right? If father is there, bride's father is the first choice, right? If father is not there, paternal grandfather will become as a wali. And the second order is own brother. If own brother can be. If own brother is not there, son of own brother. So everyone should be from father's family, not from mother's family. Keep in your mind, not from mother's family, yeah? Right? So paternal uncle, paternal cousins, grandfather's own brother. If no one is there, she is an orphan, then Qadi or Hakim. Hakim means ruler. In Islamic Khilafat, the ruler can be the wali. right? Or else Qadi. Qadi means the judge, right? The judge will become a wali for that particular girl, right? So who can be shahid, witness? They should be knowledgeable of the language in which nikah is done. For example, they are conducting nikah in Tamil, but this witness he knows only English, right? So a very important thing, they have to mention in English, right? Not of impaired eyesight problem or deformity of speech or hearing. So it should be everything is, he should be able to listen, he should be able to see what is happening, right? So these are the major two conditions for that. And apart from that, age should be more than 18 years. Okay, they should not be but insane people should not be insane. Those are major consider, but these two very important. These two are very important. Language is very important. Language is very, very important. So normally the language, even in Arabic and Tamil, they are using most of the places, Arabic and Tamil. So without this condition, nikah is not accepted. Right. So a very important thing during the nikah. So after the nikah agreement is done, now they will become husband and wife. But that will be completed with the payment of mahar. Right. It's a payment, or else you can say it's a gift actually, right? It's a gift given by husband, bride, right? Sorry, groom. It's a gift of groom to bride. It can be a property, it can be a cash value, jewelry, anything. But Islam is not forcing us to give a big amount of money. To, because in a meeting only in front of everyone, no, they are declaring it. Sometimes the people think what everybody is there, so I want to give a big amount, otherwise it's a shame on me. So they are taking a loan and they are settling off. No need to be shy in that cases. No need to take a loan for giving mahar, right? Otherwise, after the marriage your life will be struggling, so you have to fulfill, you have to settle off that loan. So the very important thing, there are a number of examples during Rasulullah's video how Rasulullah made this mahar very easy, right? Because the mahar should not be a barrier for the marriage. So one Sahabi came to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I want to marry, but I don't have anything to give. Then Rasulullah said, just go and search something at home and bring it. He went to home and he was searching anything, but he didn't get anything and came Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I found nothing. Then Rasulullah said, uh, how many surahs you can remember? He said, he mentioned 3 surahs. So you find a suitable woman for you and teach these surahs as a mahar and marry to her. So Islam has made it very flexible, right? So actually the mahar should be demanded by wife. That means the bridegroom, right? Sorry, wife. The girl should demand. Rasulullah said, you all should demand your mahar, right? So the groom should request, what do you want as a mahar? If she asks a house, you have to give, right? In Middle East countries, that's a big problem. If the grooms are suffering a lot because these brides, actually in Sri Lanka, if a father has more daughters, right? If a father has more daughters, they are suffering a lot in Sri Lanka. But it's not Islam, because of dowry. Dowry is haram. Dowry is haram. In Tamil, we call Sidanam, right? Dowry is haram in Islam. Dowry is what? A bride requesting from, a groom requesting from bride's father, not directly from bride. She might not know about this one, right? Directly, sometimes the groom's father requesting to bride's father, right? So maybe that parental only they are requesting. It's happening in Sri Lanka, mostly in the eastern province, right? And it became as a tradition. It became as a tradition, but it's not allowed in Islam. It's not allowed. It shows that inability of a groom. It shows that inability, right? Sometimes, some poets, they use the word, it's a male prostitution, it's a male prostitution. They are asking money to have the marriage, but the nikah is become halal because of that particular bride's father agreed. That is a legal condition, right? But you are requesting money for that also, right? You have to give the mahar, right, as a gift to wife, and you have to take her as a halal wife, right? And once you take the dowry, it can be house, it can be cash, or it can be a vehicle. End of the day, the groom, that husband, will become a slave at last. So this is for advice for the boys, right? You keep in your mind, if you want to have your guts and your what do you call that, bravery and the gentleman, right? If you are a gentleman, right, you give your gift and get married. So that is haram in Islam. So you have to give mahar. So Rasulullah has made it very flexible. Whatever you have, you can give it. It's very important. After the marriage, you have to look after that. Right. The second is walima. Right. Second is walima. So this is also highly recommended. This is wajib. Huh? This is wajib. This is wajib. Sometimes, you know, some scholars have given excuses. You can give as installment also. That option also given, right? Installment also, installment basis also, you can settle the mahar. Walima is a small feast, a small function, right? Feast or small function given by groom, right? Small function given by groom. So this is also highly recommended. So once the walima is given only, this will be completed. Your marriage will be completed. So it's a small feast. You don't want to spend it a big amount of money, and you don't want to celebrate it grandly, because Rasulullah said the marriage which is simply held is the barakat, right? You will get barakat from Allah. So keep in your mind. So this is wajib. Mahar is wajib. The walima is highly recommended, but it is completed. It's not, it comes under the topic of wajib, but it's a highly recommended. Then only it will be completed. You know, you have to declare it that you have married in front of everyone. So by giving a function or small party, that you are declaring that you have got married, right? Okay. So this is not conditions. These are not conditions. You don't include under the condition. Right. So these are the some of the characteristics or features of an ideal Islamic family, right? So if you want an Islamic family, means, so these are the characteristics you have to find it, right? So Allah says in Quran, right? In Quran, Allah used the word I can't remember the Surah Rum, I guess. Yeah, Surah Rum. Allah has mentioned. وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. So the Arabic word I have used here, mawadda and rahma, right? So the mawadda means love, and rahma means kind and care. Kind and care. So the main purpose of a marriage, Rasulullah Al-Quran said, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِنْ أَنفُسِكُم. So we have created, right? His creation spouses. It is a Quranic verse, for you out of yourselves, so that you might take comfort in them. And he's creating love and mercy, actually kindness or mercy among you. The purpose of marriage clearly highlighted in Quran. It should be mawaddatan, that means the love between you, among you, husband and wife, and warahma, mercy between husband and wife. This is ultimate target of the marriage. This is the reason Allah made this marriage is one of the highly recommended one. This is Quran and Sunnah recommend to have the marriage life. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, just I want to tell you, right? So we people in the world having one wife and struggling a lot, how to, we people always say that they are struggling a lot, but Rasulullah had 11 wives. So after Khadija radiallahu anha, so Rasulullah had another 10. So even if we say 9, the last one is Mariyatul Kibitiyah, the last time that Rasulullah married. So at a time, in Hijrah, after the Hijrah, Rasulullah married almost, Rasulullah married 9 wives. Okay. If anyone asks from Aisha radiallahu anha, what do you think of Rasulullah love, at most love towards which wife? Then Aisha radiallahu would say, Rasulullah, I'm 100% sure he loves most in the world, it's me. If anyone go and ask Sauda radiallahu anh, right? What do you think of Rasulullah love? Whom Rasulullah showed the love too much? Then Sauda radiallahu would say what? I'm 100% sure Rasulullah loved me a lot most, comparing to out of other 9, Rasulullah loved me a lot. If someone go to Zainab radiallahu anh, Safiya radiallahu anh, even all those wives, right? Habiba radiallahu anh, everyone would say, I am 100% sure Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam loves me a lot than others, comparing to others. What do you mean by this? Rasulullah equally treated them. Rasulullah equally treated them. So that's what everybody say. No, we are sure about that. So that is the ultimate focus of the marriage. Right? So after the marriage, if we people have a misunderstanding, if we have always a problem there is a problem in the marriage. So very important thing. At the beginning itself, you have to make sure that's what there is a suitability. You had to check that, right? For the engagement, not engagement, sorry, not engagement. Before the marriage, they will go to one of the house, right? It can be the bride's place or groom's place. They visit, and they allow that bride and bridegroom, that the boy and a girl, they are not bride and bridegroom, no, right? Allow them to talk for 5-10 minutes under the supervision of their mahrams. The people will be there, but not closer. There will be a distance. They will be observing things to talk and understand, to talk each other. It's very important today's context. They wanted to talk frankly, and they have to understand each other. Within 10 minutes, it's very difficult to understand. That is a different topic, but there are some major things are there. You can ask each other regarding the religious background. And at the same time, they have to inquire about that. For example, if that boy is working in a company, if someone related to working in that, anybody is working in the company, you can ask how is the behavior, how is having the relationship with others. And in the mosque committee, they can make sure that. Likewise, you have to get the information about the boy and girl, bride and groom. After that, only you have to go. So before marriage itself, you have to make sure whether these couples are suitable to have the successful marriage life, right? Their age is very important. Education level is very important. For example, the wife is highly educated, but the husband studied only O-level. But between the mutual understanding, they can run the life, no problem. But sometime in future, because of the different education level, it can create a problem. Can be, right? It can be. If they don't have a proper understanding, it will create the problem. Sometime, because of anger, if husband says, because you are uneducated person, you can understand such a way. If some word has released, it will hurt. If it hurts, definitely they will disappoint. And then this person would think, what, okay, she's having in her mind that she didn't tell, but after 10 years later, now she's telling. So she had already in the mind to want to reveal. She was waiting for the occasion. The interpretation will be created, right? So this will cause for more problem. That's what the education level is very important, because in future it cannot be a problem, right? Age also very important. So, sometimes they are marrying the 10 years difference age, Now, what is the problem is there, right? Now, for example, the boy is 25, say 28 years or 30 years. The girl is 19 years, 11 years different, right? 11 years different. So when this person become 50 years, she is just 29 or 39, right? 39. So still she is almost in the, not young, but she's almost okay. You see the age, 39, but he is 50 main, almost he enter into the elderly age. So that will create another problem, because their children, sometimes they will identify as whether your father or grandfather, right? That problems are there. So very important thing, the age suitability, education level, religion, it's very important. Religion is very important. If it's religion problem mean, another thing is as a wealth also problem, right? So you look after, particularly it's a highly advisable to the boys. If you are marrying a woman, try to find a woman comparatively asset based in wealth. In terms of wealth, their family should be lower than you. Then only you will have your upper hand. Upper hand means you're not dominating. It doesn't mean dominating. You can be like a man, right? You can be a very brave man, and you will be a man, right? If not, right, there will be a problem. I'm talking about the practical problems. Today, what is the practical problems I'm talking about? For example, the girl's family is very rich. The boy's family is very little bit, moderated level, middle class. After the marriage, do you think these two families, parents, this boy's father and that girl's father, will they have an equal friendly relationship? There will be a kind of a guilty and kind of, hesitation to mingle, because of the different level of their wealthiness, right? So these all will create the problem, definitely. So should understand and marry, then only we can avoid the divorce, right? The reason for the divorce starts from the beginning, right? From the beginning, if we didn't tackle that point accurately, right? Al-Quran teaches us to supplicate as follows. This is very important. So Al-Quran taught a dua here, right? Lord, let our spouses and children be the delight of our eyes. This is very important. We have to recite this dua. Particularly, this is advice for the grooms, boys, right? Our spouses, that means wives, and children be the delight of our eyes. If you go and ask most of our fathers, what do you feel of the family? What they say? Oh, I can't imagine going home. It's always a headache. So see that they don't have the delight of their eyes. They should have because you had asked from Allah, and ourselves examples for the pious ones. Remember that we should be example for the people is strong statement. We should be example for the pious people. Already there are pious people. For those pious people, we have to be example. Mean, what about our piousness? So this is the dua Allah taught us in the Quran for the family, related to the family. Islam has considered. So, in exam, if they ask you what are the main characteristics, so next point, I'll be list out one by one. This is the introduction I'm giving, ideal Islamic family. Yeah. Islam has considered the lawful marriage as ibadat. It's an ibadat. You know why? Because after marriage, when you're childbirth, right? So children are there, will be there. So these children considered as a sadaqatul jariyah. They are considered as a sadaqatul jariyah. What is sadaqatul jariyah? I mean, after your death also, you will be getting reward. Sadaqatul jariyah, I mean, you are getting reward because they are asking dua for you, right? They are doing ibadat. So ibadat rewards also will be coming to you, right? So the marriage is ibadat. It's very important. Based on our intention. What is the intention? I wanted to protect from sin. That's what I'm going to marry. Then your marriage will be considered as ibadat. You married because what? I want to put a social WhatsApp status, Facebook status. We want to go outing and want to selfie and I want to post it on the WhatsApp and the social medias, right? We want to put the status saying that we are happy couples. We wanted to have kind of fun, like, the role models taken from the actors and kind of other people, celebrities. This type of marriage is worst. There is no barakat at all. Right? No barakat at all. You can see these days, I hate this quality actually. Some people, what they do, husband and wife, I'm saying husband and wife. Husband and wife, they take selfie, they wanted to post it. Badly they want to post it. So what they do, they put an emoji on the face and they post it. You what understand? I don't know why they are doing such a thing. Right? No need to do those stuff. You are marrying for your purpose and your happiness, not to show off to others that I have a beautiful wife, I have a beautiful, handsome husband, right? You don't want to show off to anyone because this marriage life should helpful to you on the day of judgment. That husband should guide you towards paradise. The wife should guide you towards paradise because Rasulullah said, Allah bless a wife. Who is she? Early morning, she wakes up for the Subh prayers and she wake up the husband also. If husband is hesitate to wake up or is a little bit delaying, what she's doing, she takes some water and sprinkle on his face to make him pray. Rasulullah said, Allah will bless that wife. And Allah will bless the husband also. He wakes up early morning to pray Subha and he wakes up his wife also, but she is not getting up and he's sprinkling water on her face. And Allah will bless that husband also. This is the relationship between husband and wife. This kind of family only we call ideal Islamic family. Okay, right. Marriage should be initiated. In the name of this is in the name of Allah. I said it's a holy contract established strongly and should exist with the blend of love, affection, mercy. So Islamic perspective regarding marriage is totally different, right? Totally different and comparing to what our thoughts are, our perceptions are. Right. So these are the main characteristics. If they ask you what are the characteristics of an ideal Islamic family, you can write this. That's why I'm repeating. You can write it for the exam purpose. These are easy to understand and write it. But for the day-to-day life, it's in practical life, it is very, very difficult, right? It's generally everyone, nah? Right. Ideal Islamic family will have its aim entering the paradise. This is a very important thing. That husband and wife, what is the main aim? Because of my attitude, my behavior, I want to lead my husband towards paradise. I want to help him. And the husband should have the thought, I want to help my wife to enter to the paradise. So equally, mutually, they have to assist each other in this particular path. So the Quran At-Tahrim, verse number 6 is talking about that. You can refer it later. And the head of that family, who is the head of the family? For husband, will be the good husband to his wife, because I'm talking about the ideal Islamic family, not a normal family. If it is an ideal Islamic family, that the husband and wife's aim is what? Enter into paradise. And ideal Islamic family is husband. How is husband? He will be a good husband to his wife and good father to his children. Simply, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, right, when you are entering into the house, greet them with salam. That's why I mentioned here. Greet them with salam. It will increase love and kindness between you, among you, right? It will increase the kindness among you. A good husband, about this particular this one Islamic family life, ideal Islamic family is a whose good husband is always be a helping hand to his wife. And Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam practices, you can understand, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam always help Rasulullah's wives in terms of household activities, right? Taking waters or caring of them. If they are tired, if they are sick, Rasulullah used to do the work. So such activities, I think you can see your fathers are helping your mother and they are doing the household activities also if it is the weekends, right? So this indicate that one of the ideal Islamic family, right? And the leader of that particular ideal Islamic family will have strong attachment with Islamic teachings. You can see that after Maghrib, the father used to say, or mother used to say, you all take the Quran and recite, not teledramas or anything or TV programs. Every early morning, father and mother wakes up their children for the prayers. Islamic teachings, right? They advise each other. They convey salam. Whenever they meet, they say salam and guide his family in the straight path of Islam. They advise them, will lead their spiritual advancement. If they don't pray, they have to advise them pray. If the child is more than 10 years old, they have to beat means normally you are beaten. You can use the cane, right? So they have to guide the children for the spiritual advancement. You must understand the schools, always sometimes some schools are disciplinary problems are coming, main reason for the disciplinary issues, only 100% parents only. Because of the parent, some children are highly disciplined, some children are not disciplined. So both people are come to the school and they mingle and merge there, and because of that indisciplined children's behavior influence, it will be reflected on the highly disciplined children. So they go home and they use such words, and the parents were shocked, and they come to school and they scold the school teachers and the principal. So you must understand, a good moral family can create a good moral society, right? So that will reflect it to others actually. So if the parents are not brought up the children proper way, and those children will influence the rest of the society, it will cause for the turmoil in the society. He respects his wife, but the very important thing, they have to respect husband, respect his wife, respect his wife. This is his wife, and handles the matters with intelligently and tactfully. Because Surah An-Nisa, verse number 34, you can refer it. Maybe in your textbook it's there. Sorry, because Allah says men are the protectors and the maintainers of women. So because we are protectors, men are protectors of women, so we have to respect them. So we are protecting them mean, there is one of the nice statement, one of the article I read, they are telling, the rape issues are there, and what they call molestations or raping kind of things, violations are, women's violations are there. So because when there is a case file like such a way, entire the males, right, the boy, that means the men should be shame of that. Because you know why? According to Quran, we should protect them, but they need a protection from someone from them, right? They need a protection means, so it's a shame of us and shame on us. It's shame on us. So we should be the protectors of the woman, right? So Allah says the men are the protectors of women, right? So we have to maintain a proper, we have to handle the matters related to the family matters intelligently and the tactfully. For sometimes if there's a misunderstanding happens between the family members, so he has to maintain properly. Because why it's handled matters intelligently and tactfully. For example, if there is any misunderstanding between husband and wife, right? So husband should not raise the voice and beat her, or what else, misunderstand using some harsh words, filthy words, right? Even sometimes some areas the wives are using filthy word to husband. That is a different ultimate case, so that is all rubbish culture, and we can't take it as an example also. Right. In the idealistic family, every member will perform their duties respectively. Wait, once Azan finish. So if you want to have some water, or if you want to go washroom, quick come, 2-3 minutes time till Azan finish. You don't want to leave, you can stay in the line. Don't. Okay. Right. Um, the next one, in the idealistic Islamic family, every member will perform their duties respectively. Right. Husband has some duties towards wife. Same way, wife has some duties towards husband. Children has duties towards their parents, and the parents has towards their children. Right? Rasulullah said, hadith narrated by Ibn Umar radiallahu anh, kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ul. Everybody is a shepherd. They are looking after. They will be questioned about their responsibility. The shepherd, in the sense, the one who looking after the sheep, right? So likewise, you are shepherd mean you are looking after your sheep. Who is sheep here? Your family members, right? Everybody is responsible. A father is responsible to their children. A mother, so mother is responsible to it's a lengthy hadith, right? And the husband is responsible to wife and the children, and the leader is responsible to the society, right? Likewise, Rasulullah mentioned every responsible people, leaders, and imam is responsible to that the people who are following him, right? So everybody is responsible. Everybody, but you are responsible in the world. If you take anyone, they have some responsibility, right? As a children, you have some responsibility towards your parents, right? As a father, we have responsibility towards our kids, right? And as a school teachers, they have responsibility towards their children. And school principals, they have, and the society, political leaders, they have responsibility. Mosque imam, they have responsibility. Every individual has some responsibilities, right, towards the relevant parties. They will be questioned on the day of judgment. Rasulullah said, they will be questioned on the day of judgment. Have they fulfilled the responsibilities, right? The wife in such family will make her life to earn the satisfaction of the Almighty Allah. So she will be obedient to her husband and fulfill his needs to his satisfaction. So that is very important for a wife's case. So because Rasulullah once said, right? The wife who possesses, right? Wife who possesses away, sorry, not pauses actually, it's right like Rasul, who passes away, right? Wife who passes away while the husband being satisfied with her will enter paradise. When a husband passed away, right? So she has to ask, or sometimes the husband could say, right, I'm 100% happy, right? I'm highly satisfied with your the duties or whatever you have done to my children and to me. I'm 100% happy with it, right? Then Rasulullah said that wife will enter paradise. Model Muslim family members will maintain an exemplary relationship with their neighbors. It's very important thing in Sri Lanka. We can find it. It's very poor condition between the neighbors, right? And model Muslim family members will maintain an exemplary relationship, right? So there are some responsibilities are there. There are some duties we have to do our neighbors, right? For example, Rasulullah said, when you are cooking something, Rasulullah used to advise Rasulullah's wives, if you are cooking something, make it some more excess, cook some more additionally, because you can give it to your neighbor. Sometimes the next door person, family members are poor, and children will be smelling what you cook, and they will be disappointed if that particular mother, the same house mother, if she couldn't be able to cook like that, right? They will be asking, mother, they are cooking something different, so I can smell it, right? So such a way they will be disappointed. If you cook something, you give a small portion to them. So this is very important to respect the neighbors. Parents of such model will show love, care, kindness to their children. It's very important about Fatima radiallahu anh. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, whenever from the childhood of Fatima radiallahu anh, and Rasulullah used to kiss Fatima radiallahu anh, and Fatima radiallahu anh also kissed Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When she becomes, after marriage, Fatima radiallahu used to kiss Rasulullah's hand. Okay, and while she was while Rasulullah was in the deathbed, she was crying, and that time also she kissed, and Rasulullah also kissed Fatima radiallahu. So these are good examples how you have to have the relationship between father and the children, right? Okay, I think we have come to the topic talak. So we are going to, I think this is the last topic and a very important topic, right? So far we have studied the marriage, nikah, how to marry, conditions. Don't worry, you all don't need to raise the hand. Don't worry. I think in half an hour, maybe in a half an hour, around 40 minutes, I will be finishing. After that, the question and answer. You can get ready. The question and answer I will be answering. Right. So don't worry. I will open the chat box after that. So this is very important topic. Keep carefully listen to this topic, talaq. I'll be going a little bit slow. I'll be explaining a little bit slow. Right. Because if you marry, you should know how to divorce also. But the purpose of learning divorce is what? To learn how to divorce? No. To avoid the divorce. To avoid the divorce. You must understand. It's very important. Right. Before come to this topic, talaq wajib, talaq sunnah, talaq mubah, right? You must understand this is the only act Allah has given the permission, right? Allah has given the permission, but Allah hated. Allah hated, but Allah has given the permission. Talaq is given, permission is given, right? And when a person divorces his wife, so the Rasulullah said, Iblis, Iblis is the leader of shaitans, Iblis, right? So he will be seated in his throne, right? He's floating on the water. He will be seated on the throne. So every day there will be feedback from the shaitans. Shaitan means there are some people, the followers of Iblis. Every day they will come and report to Iblis. Today, what I have done, I have disappointed this person. I have made him to do haram. I have made him this, and that. Then they will be telling that. Such and such they will tell. So for example, one shaitan has come and said, I made this person not to perform particular things. He would say, Iblis would say, you didn't do nothing, just leave it, leave it. Another shaitan comes and said, I made one person to divorce his wife. I made one person to divorce his wife. Then he would say, shaitan would say, this is what I expected. You are the person who have done the right thing. Shaitan would be very happy when a person divorces. So you must understand, right? This is not today in Sri Lanka. It's happening like a piece of cake. If they want, they divorce. If they want, they recall it, right? So it's very sensitive case. That's what I'm saying. Before the marriage itself, everything should be carefully looking to the matters. Then only you can avoid this divorce talaq. It's a disappointing. Now it became as like passing clouds in the life, okay, Barry, if you don't like, we'll divorce. No, but it's very sensitive case, right? So that keep in your mind, Rasulullah said that among lawful things, divorce is most hated by Allah. Allah has given the permission because as human, we might have some kind of disappointments and misunderstanding, problems, confusions, anything. But for that, Allah has given the permission. So that's what we are going to talk about. In which occasion, right? It can be compulsory, it can be recommended one, it can be sunnat, it can be haram. So this is the first one. So this is not the types, huh? These are the not types of things, kind of rules regarding this talaq. That means when it will be compulsory, when it will be recommended, when it will be mubah, accepted. Accepted doesn't mean, okay, no problem, you can go for it. And when it will be haram, right? Haram. Okay. So I will tell first one, when it will be compulsory for the divorce. So in that occasion, you have to divorce. There is a situation, right? So if the couples are having problems and it's difficult to solve, for example, I will tell misunderstanding or a doubt. For example, the wife is accusing husband might have some kind of illegal relationship. Or husband is accusing she has some kind of illegal relationship and she is not obedient, right? And she is not listening to me. Such a cases are there. So they tried to solve the problem, but it's very difficult to solve the problem. At the beginning of the stage, husband and wife tried to solve the problem, but they couldn't. Finally, they asked the third parties to come and solve the problem. Even it won't work out. Even if they continue this marriage, it will be like, customer, relationship. Customer, I mean, okay, hi, hello, how are you? That's fine. They don't have the happy life. It will be disappointing both the life and it will disappoint the children as well. In such occasions, talaq is wajib. How marriage is wajib, such occasions, talaq in this situation, if they cannot sort it out the problem, if they live continuously, it will further worse of the problem, right? As they cannot live together, then it's wajib for them to go in for a divorce, compulsory, right? Recommended, it's sunnah. Sunnah mean, keep in your mind, it's not Rasulullah did because of sunnah mean it's okay, recommended, you can go for it. If wife is disobedient, that's a different case. Not religious. You know why it's sunnah? You can correct her. For example, she is not listening to husband, right? And she is not religious also. But before marriage, they said she is very religious. She always pray 5 times. And after marriage only, the husband got to know she is not praying at all. She's not praying on time. She's not reciting anything. Always sleeping, right? So always watching dramas, always in the mobile phones, not bother about the children. Then not religious. Or having unbearable bad qualities. Such some qualities are there, right? Unbearable qualities. Or if the husband is not giving her rights, this is the other side. It is the other side. If the husband is not giving, husband is not looking after properly, right? Then it is necessary to grant talaq. So sunnat mean it's okay, no problem. It's a second stage. But before sunnah, that's what I'm saying. This sunnat in the sense, first of all, this problem can be sorted out, You can teach that, no, otherwise I'm going to divorce you. It's a kind of a warning, right? It's a kind of a warning. You see that your parents have told that you are religious. That's why I got married, but you are not religious. After the children, how am I going to look after my children? So they will not be religious. Most of the time I'm out. At home, you are the one who's going to look after my children. Then advice, first advice, second advice, third advice, not listen, then definitely can go for a divorce. Mubah. Mubah mean this is permitted, right? This is not recommended, permitted. This also can be sorted out. If a husband does not provide anything for his wife because of stingy, there are people, stingy people, no? There are some husbands very stingy. That is an indirect signal the husband is giving. If you want, you can leave from me. So he wants the divorce, right? So because of stinginess, he's not providing whatever they need. They are not looking after the children and does not even comfort her. It becomes a reason for talaq. We can give for talaq. That is permission. Permission, it's permitted. Mubah means permitted, right? But this talaq is haram. You cannot do this type of haram. This talaq is not accepted. Sometime pronouncing talaq when he is in the deathbed. Now, when the husband is going to die, now he is in the sakrat situation. He calls his wife and say, I'm divorcing. Reason is what? To prevent her from the share of warasat. This intention is a bad intention. So this is haram. This talaq is haram, not accepted. deathbed with a bad intention that she should not get her share from his warasat. So this is haram. This type of talaq is haram. So before giving divorce, should consider which is fall into which category. So this mubah and sunnat can be sorted out. You can get time, some time, right? You can give some time, you can go for it, you can advise it, you can go for the counseling, right? You can call for the Kali counselors are there and find it, this too. But this is not allowed. We can't do that. But this is in this situation, such situation, it's compulsory to go for the divorce. Right, because end of the day, rather than having a lack of understanding and having more problem, that problems will affect the children. You know, that's a big problem of the indisciplinary issues at schools. You know, some children are they are highly aggressive, right? They are highly aggressive because the father and mother not looking after the children properly, because of the lack of understanding and always fights in between husband and father and mother. So the child didn't get a proper love and care. So the child needs love and care. That's what the child is coming to school, right? And there is a saying also, if the child got the love at home, he comes to school to learn. If the child didn't get the love and care at home, he is coming to school to get the love. So the school teacher should understand what kind of child is this. Is it the child has come for the learning purpose, or he needs love or not? So if you give that love, definitely the child will learn. So that's very important for the teachers also to learn the psychology regarding the child psychology. Right. These are the major 3 types of talaq in terms of who is going to give, right? Who is going to give that separation based on that condition. There are 3 types of talaq. One is talaq. So talaq in the sense I'm saying divorce. First one is talaq. This talaq is given by husband. This talaq is given by husband. If husband finds kind of a shortcomings or misunderstanding from wife's side, if he found the wife is not obedient, right, and she's not religious, then he is giving the separation. When a man frees a woman from the bond of marriage, then this will be considered as a talaq given by husband. He has the right to pronounce 3 talaq. So I will explain the method. The 3 talaq methods are there. I will explain next slides. But very important thing, while the divorce, if they have children, 2 or 3 children, the children should be spent after the divorce. Nafaka should be spent, right, based on their intent. For example, if the children are very small, they can stay with mother, right? If they are grown children, so they will be asking the consent of the children also, whether they have to stay with the father or mother. But the father's responsibility is look after the children, right? Second is fasakh. So this marriage agreement become void or null because of some kind of conditions has not fulfilled. This means the cancellation of the marriage. For example, who is this? Right, husband and wife. One of husband or wife converted to another religion. Because of that, automatically this agreement will become nullified, right? Become avoided, cancelled. So this cancellation will be given by judge, not husband or wife. They are okay with that. They don't have any problem. But husband or wife converted to another religion, so automatically this agreement will become cancellation, right? If marriage conditions have not been fulfilled, then nikah would be annulled, right? Nullified. So it will not be continue. They can't. So the judge will be giving the separation, right? 3 months iddah will be observed by the wife. Khulu. Islam has given the same excuse, the opportunity for husband. At the same time, Islam has given for the wife also, right? So if wife finds any mistakes or any kind of issues regarding disobedient or religious cases or accusation from the husband side, when a wife wants to be freed from the husband and get the divorce, very important thing, while she is giving the freedom in the sense when he frees, she has to give an amount, right? Compensation amount. It can be either mahar or else any amount can be given. She should give back. The mahar is highly recommended. The mahar, if you give, it's fine, right? Otherwise, if she wants to give a different amount of money, it's okay, no problem, because there's one evidence. One Sahabi lady, she came to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I want a separation from my husband because of such reason, right? Then Rasulullah said, you wanted to return mahar, or you have to give a compensation to him. Then she said, I will be giving more than what he gave as a mahar. So such cases, this is the example incident. Even more than mahar also can be given. Right. So there are major two types of talaq based on the situation. Based on the situation, the talaq can be considered as two types. One is talaq sunni, right? Talaq sunni mean, that doesn't mean that Rasulullah has given the talaq. So because you all think that sunnah mean it's Rasulullah has performed. No, it's the approved method. This is the correct method. Talaq sunnah mean, or talaq sunni mean, this is the approved method in Islam. That will be the proper method or correct method. So only one example is I have typed here, but I will be explaining all the three examples, right? What are the three methods? For example, when a person going to give talaq, he has to make sure this situation. Pronouncing talaq during the tuhur period. During the tuhur mean non-menstruation period. The wife should not be in the menses period, right? So because then only they can calculate properly the 3 months idda period, not according to the calendar calculation. They are periodic calculation. Menstruation period calculation only, it's very important, right? So during the tuhur mean purified period, cleanliness. Tuhur mean they are pure. They are pure mean non-menses period. That time only should be pronounced talaq. First one. Second one, right? And talaq should be pronounced, or talaq should not be pronounced when there is a sexual intercourse. Or else we can say talaq should be pronounced when no sexual relationships takes place, right? For example, after the sexual intercourse, next day husband cannot divorce her, because that harm her, because that's a intention, bad intention. That is a bad intention. So after the divorce, she will become pregnant and she will suffer, right? So that's the purpose. In Sri Lanka, it's happening a lot. Cases are happening, right? So after the sexual intercourse, we make sure that she will be pregnant definitely, and he divorces her. Then after the divorce, she will become pregnant and she will get the child, and she is suffering a lot. Suffering a lot means at that young age, right, with the one child, it's spoiling their life actually. A second marriage for a girl, even after the child, it's very difficult, right? So that is bad intention. So that should not be there. So they should pronounce a talaq when there is no sexual intercourse take place, right? And the third one, should not pronounce 3 talaq at once. Should not pronounce. That means there are 3 intervals. There are 3 intervals should be there to pronounce the talaq. I will tell that how to pronounce the 3 talaq. For example, right, I will explain the terminology in the next slide. Just I'll say this is the process of talaq according to Sharia in Sri Lanka, right? And this is the accepted one also. For example, a mutual understanding is not happening. Now the husband wants to divorce, right? So he will go to Kali court and the first talaq is pronounced, right? First talaq has been pronounced. Now, after the first talaq, husband and wife should stay together. Together they have to stay. The 3-month idda period should be observed. So this is, I'm telling the Sri Lanka's method and the approved method. There is another method. That method is not suitable actually. Not suitable. This is the highly authenticated method, right? You understand, because the methodology they won't ask you. Only the terminologies are they are asking, right? This is for your understanding. I'm telling you, right? First talaq will be pronounced. 3 purified period or tuhur period or 3 months idda will be observed. Within that 3 months period, if husband was happy, for example, if the wife is satisfied, okay, the problem sorted out in between them within that 3 months, then they can continue their life. They can continue their life. Now the first talaq is finished. First talaq is finished. Right? There are 3 talaqs. No, there are 3 talaqs, right? First talaq is finished. At this situation, they can't say all the 3 talaq. This is the way pronouncing 3 talaq at regular intervals. So first talaq is finished. So before the third month is finished, the husband said, okay, no problem. I am okay with that. Now we will have the life. After some days, they are living together now. Suddenly there is another problem comes, misunderstanding. And again, he's saying, no, 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 this is not work out. I want to divorce you. And now if he pronounce that talaq, he will be considered as what? Second talaq. What is this? Second talaq. Now I'm telling that if he, within 3 months, within 3 months, second talaq. So after 3 months, they are living the life. After that, there's another problem. So after 1 year, they live together. Again, another problem comes. Second talaq will be happening. 3 months idda period will be observed with him. Together only they should live. Together they will be living. During this situation, if husband is okay, right, all right, fine, no problem. Again, we will have the life. Okay, we will continue. Before 3 months, before 3 months, they can continue their life. Now he has only one more chance, right? And if he pronounced that the third one after after they resolve the problem, and if they again have the problem, if the third talaq pronounced, she will become temporary mahram. That's what I told. One of the temporary mahram is one third talaq divorced woman. So after third talaq, 3-month idda will be observed at mother's place, that girl, wife's mother's place. And after, during this period, the husband cannot get her back. This will become, irrevocable talaq. So talaq bainatul kubra, I will explain later, right? So third talaq pronounced mean he can't get it now, even within 3 months. So after 3 months, if he is okay to have, he cannot get her. If he wants to marry the same one, she has to marry another person. And likewise, the 3 talaq should be pronounced and should be married. This is the process. If the divorce happen and they resolve the problem during idda period. Suppose in Sri Lanka, it's happening most of the time. This is not happening in Sri Lanka, because in Sri Lanka, the first talaq itself, they finish it, right? Now the first talaq is pronounced. First talaq is pronounced, right? 3 months in Sri Lanka, they are not staying together. They will go, they separated, they are separated. 3 months, she is observing idda at mother's place. This is happening in Sri Lanka. First talaq is pronounced, 3 months. So this is we call talaq rajai. In Sri Lanka, they are saying that only talaq rajai will be given, not 3 talaq. We are not giving 3 talaq. First talaq itself, you can separate it, right? 3 months, before I told, within 3 months, if they resolve the problem only, I told. Now 3 months is finished. Problem not resolved. It will be considered as the separation. Now they are separated. Okay, they are separated. Say 3 months is over. She is there, and this husband also having. After around 1 year, husband thinks, okay, we will have this is we call talaq rajai, talaq rajai, revocable talaq. Can get her back. We can cancel the first talaq, right? The husband thinks, okay, now it's no problem. The children are there, so he resolved. He wanted to have the life with her. Then, if he wants to have the girl as a wife, they should go for a new nikah agreement. Keep in your mind, new nikah agreement should be held. They have to go for a new nikah agreement after 3 months of idda period finishes. And if he wants to get her back, that is the talaq rajai, there should be a new nikah agreement. After that, for example, the new nikah, no, since there is a new nikah agreement, again he will have 3 chances. 3 talaq chances, as I said before, within 3 months, if they return, likewise 3 chances are there. Now I'm telling here, after 3 months, what is the problem? After 3 months, it's considered as a separation. If they want, they can marry a different life. For example, husband can marry another one, this girl can marry another one. But they didn't marry, right, anyone. So, but they are thinking, okay, we will have the life again, and they got married. So that's a new nikah agreement will be done, and they will, that husband will have the 3 fresh new chances for the talaq, right? This is the method in Sri Lanka. They are doing only the first talaq only. They are not going for a second and third talaq. Okay, that's understand. This is for your practical knowledge only. I told you, right? In exam, they will not ask the process. You will understand only the meaning, right? So this is the accepted talaq. I told 3 methods, and the talaq bidai, which is not accepted, wrong manner. Right? It's not allowed in Islam. You can't tell. Opposite of this 3 method I told here. Example, pronouncing all the 3 talaqs together. Right? And this is the first example. All 3 talaqs together in Sri Lanka also not doing. That means at the first incident even I am pronouncing 3 talaq and 3 months idda period. Finish off. If he finished 3 talaq, mean again, he can't marry her. If he wants to marry, she has to marry another one. That's what in Sri Lanka, they are finishing with 1 talaq. First talaq itself, they are separated, right? Or else pronouncing when she is not clean during the menstruation period. When she is not clean, right? When she is in menstruation period, pronouncing talaq is not accepted. And the third one, I told you, opposite one, after the sexual intercourse, pronouncing talaq, divorcing her, it's not accepted. This is a wrong manner, wrong method of expressing the talaq. Okay, I hope you understand. Right. So if you didn't understand the question, you can ask again. No problem. I will repeat it. Right. So we mentioned the first talaq, second talaq. Remember that first talaq, second talaq. We call it as talaq raja'i. Talaq raja'i, revocable talaq. You can cancel the agreement and you can continue the life. So this will happen within 3 months if they return only. As the first example, right? So within second 2.5 months, he wants to resolve, he solved the problem, and he wanted to have a wife, right? So she will be coming as a wife. So first talaq is finished. Second talaq has done. During the second talaq also, that before within that 3 months is talaq raja'i. After 3 months is over, finished. After that, again, if they want to marry, they want to have a new nikah agreement. Within the iddah period, if he want to get her back, then no problem, without nikah agreement can do. So the talaq period is given for the purpose of to resolve the problem. That's what Islam highly appreciate. The husband and wife should live together. Then only during that time, for example, husband is not happy with any kind of issues. So what is the problem husband has towards the wife? So she has to resolve the problem if she live together only, right? For example, she has to decorate herself, right? Whenever husband comes, she has to talk to him and satisfy him and preparing food properly and want to make happy husband, right? So that is the reason the 3 month iddah is given. That should be observed with husband. But in Sri Lanka, after the first talaq itself, they are separated. Okay, no problem. That also okay, no issues, right? So talaq raja'i is which can be revocable. Sorry. Revoked. This is a temporary separation after the first and second talaq and before the iddah period ends. That's what I'm saying. Before the iddah period. First talaq means before 3 months. Second talaq also pronouncement for 3 months. She could join with husband without any new nikah agreement. Keep in your mind, right? After that 3 months is over, mean okay, they are separated now. They are separated. First talaq, second talaq also finished. Never mind, they can get a marriage with a new nikah agreement. But the third talaq is a problem. That is we call talaq ba'in. Talaq ba'in can be two. One is it cannot be revoked. It cannot be revoked. But there is a small one and the major one. Small separation after second talaq. Talaq bainunatu sugura. Talaq bainunatu sugura. After the second talaq also, talaq can be revoked. It can be taken back. But the kubra is the major one. After third talaq pronounced, then the separation is clear. If he wants to marry, that girl should marry another one. She has to be offered 3 talaq. After that only, that first husband can marry her. Right? After the second talaq, after the second talaq, 3 months is finished. If he wants to marry, no problem, can marry with a new nikah agreement. But after the third talaq, new nikah agreement is not work out until she got married another person. Right? I think we hope the last part. Right? So these are the other 3 methods of talaq. It happens because of the words we express. Right? Because of the words husband expresses, it can be causes for the talaq. It can be cause for talaq. So one is lihar, second is li'an, and third one is ila'u, right? Lihar means comparing his wife physically to his mother, right? Anti kalahri ummi. Your shoulder is look like my mother's shoulder. So one husband looking at the wife's shoulder or hairstyle or face or whatever, right? That physical part is look like my mother's physical part. So that will be automatically considered as a divorce. By mistakenly, if it is done, kafara can be given and sorted out. But in exam, they will ask only the meaning. There is nothing else you don't focus. That's what I given the meaning. Only the meaning, you remember that. Li'an mean it's a false accusation of abuse to his wife. For example, husband says that My wife has committed a kind of an illegal relationship. So he's accusing wife has done something, right? So in front of the Kali, what they will do, each other should promise and they curse themselves, right? So if they curse themselves, automatically they will be considered as the talaq, right? Divorce, separated, 3-month idda period. So definitely, if the wife agreed that he has accused, she has committed that kind of any kind of abuse, she will be given punishment, because married person punishment should be given, right? If not, if she is lying, definitely Allah will reveal the truth before the death of that particular person, right? And the last one is ila'u. Ila'u mean husband promises because of anger, any kind of situation upon Allah, that he would not, the wood, this is wood, the O is missing, not have any physical contact with her. Wallahi, hereafter I will not touch you. Such words. I will not have any kind of sexual relationship with you. Physically, I will not have any contact. So when you say Wallahi, you can't do that, right? So automatically, it indirectly means separation. But by mistakenly, if you have done, the solution is what? You have to break the promise. That means you have to have the physical relationship with her. But since you have right, you have broken the promise, because you mentioned Allah's name. Wallahi, I will not mean, you should not do. If you break the promise, you have to give kafara, 3 days fasting, or I think 10 poor people should be fed. So breaking promise, kafara is there. No? That kafara should be given, and the problem will be resolved. Okay. So only the exam, you need to know only the 3 topics meanings only. Yeah. Right. So the last part is idda, right? What you have to understand in idda mean counting. Actually in Islam, idda mean it's counting. There are 3 types of idda. Through the 3 types of idda, 3 reasons also will come. Purpose of idda must understand its ibadat. Allah says, Quran says, Rasulullah's hadith highly said, idda is an ibadat. First reason why you have to observe, it's ibadat. If the wife is pregnant, second reason we have to, why the reason for the idda period after the death of a husband, after the divorce of the husband, after the divorce of the wife, reason to check out whether she is pregnant or not. That is the main purpose. That is one of the important point. And it is an opportunity to make up in the sense that within 3 months, I said first talaq and second talaq, she has to, it is an opportunity to make up. When it will be an opportunity? If she lives with husband during idda period, then only she can make up that, right? She can look after that, she can satisfy him. So those days, the scholars have advised during that period when her wife is staying with husband, she has to decorate herself, right? Then only sometimes husband can change mind, right? So this is an opportunity to make up. So there are 3 reasons for the purpose for idda. So types of idda. The first type of idda is idda for a woman whose husband has died. After the husband's passed away. So what is the idda period? 4 months and 10 days. It's very clear. After the death. Suppose after the death of the husband, if that during the death of the husband, the wife is pregnant, then the idda period is until the childbirth. And the last one, idda according to talaq, this should be Q, right? And first talaq, second talaq, third talaq, no problem. 3 months idda period should be observed. These are the 3, types of idda. Even these 3 also you can use it as a reason for idda, because particularly the 4 months and 10 days after the death of a husband, reason is what? Sorrow, right? Because Islam has given the permission for a woman for the death of a husband, because of the death of the husband, they can cry, they can spend the day with sorrows for 4 months and 10 days. But if wife passed away, husband can maximum this one sorrows or the crying or whatever worries can be done maximum 3 days. After that, they have to make up themselves and they have to look into their life. They have to look after the children. The rest of the things should be done. But the women cannot. They are very emotionally. They are very weak sometimes. So that's the reason Islam has given. That is also one of the reason, because of the sorrows. Islam has given 4 months and 10 days. Right. I think 1 minute. Before that, I will finish that questions also. After that, we'll go for the question and answer. No. I will be explaining these questions. So recap questions. These are recap questions. I think you can see that the number is missing a little bit. I think you can read it. Okay. I'm not typing or writing the answers. I'll be just telling the answers. Maybe these are very easy questions. Give an example for temporary mahram. So because all these questions They cannot ask any question from away from these questions for the O-level exam. Give an example for temporary mahram. So temporary mahram, so I have mentioned there are 7 in the slide, right? You can say third talaq, divorced woman, or else you can mention wife's sister, a non-Muslim, right? I'm not typing, just I'm writing for your reference, so you can write it down. When I'm telling the answer, you can write it. This is easy. Wife's sister, non-Muslim or mushrik woman, and another person's wife. So these are all temporary mahrams example. Who is called wali in marriage? This is also we studied. Wali, who is wali? The guardian of bride, right? Guardian of bride. Father, actually, the father of a bride. How long should a pregnant widow perform idda? Pregnant until the childbirth. It's very clear, until childbirth. Even if it's 3 months or 4 months, no problem. Until 6 months also, no problem. Until the childbirth. Where is it mentioned that the mother should breastfeed the child till the baby is 2 years old? Because Al-Quran has highly recommended a mother should breastfeed the child until the child reach 2 years old. Keep in your mind, Al-Quranic verse. Al-Quran mentioned that 2 years a mother compulsorily should breastfeed. How do you call the divorce demanded by wife? Sometimes they could ask such a way also. That means wife is demanding the separation. What do you call that? Khulu, right? Khulu. Fasakh mean given by Qadi. Talaq is given by husband. Khulu is given by wife. What is the similarity you see in Akika? Once it should be Akika, not Agiga. Wait, I will change it. Akika. Akika. Right. Akika and Walima. This is Walima. Okay. This is Walima. So what is the similarity in Akika? Akika is given after the childbirth, 7 days after the childbirth. It's not compulsory to give after 7 days. Even a little bit later you can give if you are not financially capable, right? Akika. Walima is after the marriage, husband's giving a feast. What is the similarity in this? This is a kind of a incident during the happy moments, right? So this is both a kind of, we can say that feast, right? We are giving a feast during the happy moments. Akika also after the childbirth, happy moments. Walima also after the marriage, happy moments we are giving. That is a similarity. What does Islam teach? Right? What does Islam teach to say to greet the newly wedded couple? So what is the dua Islam taught us? Barakallahu fikum wa barakalaykuma wa jama'a bainakuma fi khair. That is a lengthy dua. If not, you can just say Barakallahu fikum. Simply you can say what? Barakallahu fikum. May Allah abundantly bless you. But it's a lengthy one. Barakallahu fikum wa jama'a alaykuma bainakuma fi khair. What does Islam teach us to? Okay, right. How long should a widow perform idda? I think this is the same question. Who is called shahid in Islamic marriage? We call it witness, right? Shahid means witness. How long should a divorced woman perform idda period? Divorced woman's idda period is 3 months. In a marriage, what is the position given to the bride's father? How do you call that? Wali. Because the possible questions, see that here the question is who is called wali in marriage? Bride's father. But here they use the word bride's father's term. What do you call wali? When is walima banquet is given? After the nikah agreement, right? How do you call the divorce that is done when the marriage is found null and void? The 16th question. When it will happen? This is we call fasakh. This we call fasakh. Qadi will be giving this divorce because of the null and void, because of any condition is not happening, or one of the member is converted to another religion, the nikah agreement will be cancelled. Right. 16, 17. Right. What is Kabul in Islamic wedding? Kabul mean we have studied ijab and Kabul. Kabul is acceptance by groom. Acceptance by groom. Among the deeds permitted to Muslims, what is detested by Allah. So Allah has accepted most of the ibadat, but Allah has hated it. Which one is? Talaq. Right, talaq. Among the deeds permitted, what Allah is detested or hated by Allah, right? So talaq, Allah has given permission, but Allah hated. What is the best expenditure among all the expenditures? Spending for the family. Keep in your mind, Rasulullah said number of spendings, and among the spending, Rasulullah said spending for the family. Spending for the family is the best expenditure among all the expenditure. What is important for the sustainability of a family? Right? Sorry. What is important for a sustainability of the family? It's very important. The family members should have the close relationship, right? Family members should have the close relationship and mutual understanding. Mutual understanding. Again, I'm repeating. Close relationship between the family members and mutual understanding will sustain the family, yeah? Will sustain the family. Why has Islam given family leadership to man? Because mostly before 2015, they used to ask this guy in the past paper MCQ question. Why Islam has given? Because they have the physical strength and intelligence of man, right? Physical strength. Actually, they have the leadership is given for the man because they have the physically they are strength and they have kind of intelligence. They have kind of intelligence. How do you call a person who is permitted to be married? The person who is allowed to marry, we call ajnabi. If the person is not allowed to marry, we call mahrami. It's not allowed to marry. So this is just a recap questions for you all. Already what I have explained, right? What is Islam stance on polygamy? It's permitted in Islam. Islam has permitted. At the beginning itself, I explained the condition for the polygamy and the reasons for the polygamy. Yeah, there are two types of mahrams. One is a permanent. What is the other one? It's a temporary mahram. It's a temporary mahram. Whose responsibility is to provide food, clothing, and whose responsibility is to provide food, clothing, and shelter to family? Sorry, whose responsibility is to provide food, clothing, so this should be comma, food, clothing, and shelter to the family is obviously father, right? It's very clear, father's responsibility. What are the two best gifts parents can give to their children? Because Rasulullah's hadith, Rasulullah mentioned two best gift you can give, manner, right? Good manner. Education and good manners are the best gift parents can give to their children. What should the parents do to bring up their children? What parents has to do to bring up their children? Very important thing, they have to be exemplary. Not to teach anything, they have to be exemplary, right? They should be the role models, right? So because the children are imitating us, right? Imitating the parents, right? So their parents should be role models. So automatically they will be imitating you, they will be following you. What should be done with regard to neighbors and relatives, right? You have to live with them, right? Unity and brotherhood is very important between them, right? So when you are having the relationship with the neighbors, the unity and the brotherhood should be established. What is the Arabic term for wedding? Arabic term for wedding is nikah, right? Arabic term for wedding for is nikah. What is the literal meaning of idda? Counting, literal meaning. Counting is the literal meaning. In Islamic terminology, after the divorce or after the death of a husband or after the death of husband, if the wife is pregnant, there is a prescribed time periods are there. So they have to observe that period. That is we call idda in the Islamic terminology. In the literal meaning, it's meaning counting. It's counting. What is talaq bidai? Talaq bidai mean improper talaq. Talaq bidai mean improper talaq or unaccepted talaq, right? Improper talaq or accepted talaq. I told pronouncing 3 talaq at once, pronouncing talaq during the menstruation period, pronouncing talaq after the sexual intercourse. These 3 are not allowed in Islam. How do you call a person comparing his wife physically to his mother? Just we explain lihar, right? Lihar is the term which refers to this statement. How do you call a person accusing that his wife of the incident of character? This is another type of talaq because of the expression. It call it as li'an, right? Li'an. And what does Bainunatul Kubra means? Bainunatul Kubra mean it is the talaq, separation after 3 talaq, right? Separation after 3 talaq. It's a permanent talaq. It's a permanent talaq. Right. Okay, right. Separation after 3 talaqs, and it's a permanent talaq. What do you call providing sustenance in Arabic? Sustenance means the meaning is the expenditure, spending, the cost of living to be provided to the family members. We call Arabic term is nafaka. Arabic term is nafaka, right? And what does munakahat mean? I told rules and regulations related to marriage in Islam. Rules and regulation related to marriage in Islam. That is we call munakahat. Rules and regulation related to marriage in Islam. What does talaq sunni refers? Talaq sunnah mean it's the proper way of giving talaq, accepted way. It's a accepted way of giving talaq, proper way of giving talaq. 38. A Muslim can marry how many Muslim women? Maximum he can marry 4. How many women did Prophet ﷺ marry? 11. Rasulullah ﷺ married. Who said the best among you is the one who is best to his wife? Prophet ﷺ. These are easy questions. Prophet ﷺ said the best among you is the one who is best to his wife. So wife should say that you are the best one. Then he is the best person among you. Right. How has Allah created this world in order to ensure its sustainability? Right. According to Quran, Allah said to make the sustainability, Allah has created all the creatures in pairs. Allah has created all the creatures in pairs. That is to make sustainability in the world. What is the best wealth a man can get it? Right? What is the best wealth? A well-mannered wife. Rasulullah said, a well-mannered wife. Well-mannered wife is, Rasulullah said, the best wealth in the world. If a person receive, right, a well-mannered wife, Rasulullah said, it is equal to the earth and the entire things what he received. Whatever in the world he receives. So it's the best wealth in the world. Who was the first woman to get married? Not married, get martyred in the history of Islam. Martyred mean the sacrifice the life, sacrifice the life in the way of Allah. Shaheed, right? Sumayya radiallahu anha. Sumayya radiallahu anha. Wait a minute. Sumayya radiallahu, and where is it? Yeah, Sumayya radiallahu anha. Right. And which Sahaba woman accepted Islam first? Khadija radiallahu anha. Khadija radiallahu anha. What should a child do on behalf of his or her father after his death? So it's very important thing after the the death of fulfilling her fathers, the parents. Actually, they talk about the father here. First of all, they have to fulfill the duties of janaza, and they have to ask dua for them. Right? The child on behalf of his father after his death, what they should do? First of all, they have to fulfill the janaza. After that, they have to continuously asking dua for their parents. Another 2 more questions. Wait, finish it. How should parents be addressed? So the answer is already with most humbleness and respect. For example, if the parents want to address any cases to the children, so what they have to do, they have to humble and in a respect way they have to address. How do you call the duties towards Allah's creation? The duties in between Allah and man. Allah and man we call hukukullah, right? And the duties towards Allah's creation, for example, that man to man duties. Man to man we call hukukul ibad. Hukukul ibad. So if there is any activity, for example, praying 5 times, zakat, hajj, all these hukukullah, the man to Allah relations, and if there is any duties towards Allah's creation, that means man to man, or it can be animals, or it can be the creatures, right? That is we call hukukul ibad, right? Okay. So I have explained all the lessons, and your chat box is opened also. And now you can ask your questions related to this topic, only this topic, related to this topic, related to This is a question and answer session, right? You can ask any question. Chat box is open for you all.
Students, if you want to ask any question, please raise your hands so I can, if you, I can give a chance to unmute your unmute. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hands. Huh? Okay, if you have the courage to ask the question, please raise your hands. Okay, otherwise don't. Huh? Some students, they are raising the hand, they don't have the courage to ask the question. Okay, I think in this lesson, Baba, you would have got many doubts sometimes. Okay, so we will see this one also. Okay. Yes, Sumir. Baba, you will get a pop-up. You can unmute and you can ask.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Yeah.
So every time when writing Ajnabi and Maharami, should you only consider men's side?
Better to consider men's side. Men's side is the most suitable one because Ajnabi Maharami concept is mostly focused from the perspective of the men's. But it's at the same time women's side also there. But in the exam, you focus the men's side because in the textbook also they are given from that point of view. Right? So you write like, for example, mother, mothers like that. Don't need to write father such a way. Right? Mother, mother, sister, likewise. Okay. Walaikum salam. Yeah.
So if it is talaq, does the wife should give any maharam or any compensation?
That means you are saying that when a husband gives talaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, when a husband gives talaq, wife no need to give. Husband has to pay for the cost of living if they have children. If they don't have children, no need to give. That's we call nafaka, right? If they don't have children, no need to give. But in the hulu, wife should give the compensation. The mahar should be returned, or else any kind of amount can be returned to husband if wife claims the separation. Okay, right. Yeah, next one. Yeah, those who raise the hand, you can unmute and ask the question.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Yeah.
Sir, what does mean by warasat?
Warasat, actually, that is not related to this part, I guess. No problem. It comes under the muamalat. Warasat means it's an inheritance asset. Inheritance asset means after death of a person, whatever the assets he left, maybe it can be cash or property or jewelry, those properties considered as warasat, inheritance asset. So that should be distributed among the family members. There are prescribed family members. According to Quran and Sunnah, there are portions are given. According to that, it should be distributed. According to our wish, we can't take it. So that is we call warasat. Yeah, the next one. Anybody? There are many people raise the hand.
Students, if you you will get a pop-up. Okay, so if you kick the pop-up, Baba, you can.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yeah, walaikum salam. Yeah, come on.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can ask.
Wajib means it's like a compulsory, sir.
Yeah, wajib is compulsory, but you have to understand sometimes the students confuse with the word wajib and faral. Remember that prayers is a wajib. You know, prayers is a wajib. In the prayers, there are activities we call faral. You understand? Hajj is wajib. In Hajj, there are activities we call faral. Fasting is wajib. In fasting, there are activities we call faral, right? So here, wajib is the perspective is what? Compulsory. In terms, literally, it means compulsory.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, pleasure. Next one.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, okay.
Sir, can I know what does providing sustenance mean?
Sustenance mean as a father, you know, leader of the family member, he has to spend for the family. That is we call sustenance. Sometimes they use the livelihood, different word that sustenance mean livelihood or cost of living, right? They have to spend money for them, right? They want to look after the clothes, food, shelter should be provided. So in one word, you can use the word sustenance. The Arabic word, we call it nafaka. That's a responsibility of a father towards the family members.
Yeah. Jazakallah.
Yeah, barakallah.
So once again, sir, some students they are asking, sir, are you conducting classes and how to join the classes? Sir has mentioned the details here. Sir is conducting the classes on every Thursday, 7 o'clock to 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, so he will be doing the session next year also. From the January, we are starting the new batches, Baba, for grade 10 students. So that means next year grade 11 and next year grade 10 students, they can join the classes. Okay, so some students they was asking, so how to join the classes? Okay, so 1 second, sir, can I take the screen?
Yeah, you share it.
Yeah, so if you want to join the classes, Baba, what you should do, you should visit our website, EDU-ZONE Not only the Islam subject, Baba, whatever the subject, all the subjects are available. Okay, so you should visit EDU-ZONE So once you visit our website, Baba, okay, you will get an option called student login. Once you click on the student login, Baba, you will go to a page. If you are a new student, what you should do, Baba, you should fill this registration form. Here you should enter your name. After that, your email address. After that, you can enter your preferred password. Whatever the password, you can enter here. Better enter a numerical password. It's better for you. Otherwise, you will forget the password. Or better enter a numerical number password. After that, enter your mobile number, normal column, not WhatsApp, normal mobile number. If any problem or if any cancellation of a class, we will be informed to this number only. Okay, and same time, if you have the WhatsApp, click on WhatsApp and the Viber. After that, enter your school. Okay, your school name. After that, enter your grade. So better when you are entering the grade, Baba, if you are a 2020 O level, mention 2020 O level. If you are a 2021 O level, mention 2021 O level. Okay, and same time, Baba, mention the badge as 2020. Okay, yeah, mention the year. Mention the year, it's better. Mention the year as what, Baba? 2020. If you are registering next year, means mention it as 2021. After that, click on the register. So once you click on the register, Baba, you will get a green color notification here. Successfully you have registered. Now you can log in. So Baba, here you should enter the email address and the password. Here you have provided email address, no, and same time here you have provided a password, no. So that email address and the password you should enter here. Like for an example, I'll record it. Okay. So after that, click the sign in, enter your email address and the password. Enter after that, what, Baba? Click the sign in. Once you click on the sign in, Baba, okay, sorry, 1 second. Okay, one second, Baba, sir. Okay, so after here, I should record my what, Baba, email address and the what, Baba, my password. So after that, enter your password. After that, here, click the sign in. Once you click on the sign in button, Baba, once you click on the sign in button, here below, okay, here you should select the, there are 3 drop downs. Okay, here you should select your grade, select the medium, select the what, Baba, subject. If you want the Islam subject, you can select the Islam. So after you selecting the Islam subject, Baba, what you should do, you should select the lecturer name. What is the lecturer name, Baba? Shakeel Ismat. After that, click the show lesson. Don't search again. Click the show lesson. Baba, once you click on the show lesson, if any free seminars, it will appear like this. If it is a paid class, it will appear like this. Okay. So if it is a free seminar, what you can do, Baba, you can just click the join free option. Okay. If you want to join the classes, okay, the class fee is 1,000 rupees, but Baba, what you should do, just click on the word, Baba, add lesson. So once you click on the add lesson, it will say it requested. So Baba, what you should do, Baba, okay, you should make the payment. After that only it will appear as what, Baba, pay. It will appear as what, Baba, pay. For which account you should pay, Baba? You should pay to this account. Okay. So below, once you scroll this thing, Baba, you will get an account number. For this account, you should pay the what, Baba, fees. And what you should do, you should upload the deposit slip in our website. So how to upload, Baba? After you deposit in the money in the website, what you should do, Baba? Okay, you should write your name. After that, you should write the lecturer name. After that, you should write down the month, and after that, you should write down the word Baba subject on the receipt. So those 4 details you should write it on the receipt. So after that, what you should do, Baba, you should take a pic of that receipt and click the word Baba choose file and select the image from the gallery. And after that, don't forget to click the word Baba upload option. So after you clicking the upload option, Baba, it will be uploaded. So after that, it will say what Baba paid, or otherwise, what you can do, Baba, if you have a debit card or a credit card, what you can do, Baba, you can click the word Baba pay online now. So once you click on this one, Baba, okay, so you will get several options. Okay, go to online payment. You will get what, Baba? Several options. So what are the options? Visa card, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, EasyCard. So those are the options, Baba. So most students, they are prefer what, Baba? The Visa card. Once you click on the what, Baba? Visa card option, you should enter the card holder's name, card holder's number, CVV number, and the expiry date, and click the pay. So after clicking this one, Baba, you will get a code number to your what, Baba? Phone number. So that is we call as what? OTP. So in the screen, Baba, you will get another box to get the what, Baba? OTP. Enter the OTP and click the what, Baba pay. So then and there, the class will be what, Baba? It's requested will be change it as what, Baba paid. So after it is changing as a paid, below the next session date, you will get a option like this, join the stream. Okay, below the this thing, Baba, you will get an option called what, Baba? Join the stream. Okay, if this is the link, if you click this link, Baba, straight away you can join the what, Baba? The Zoom meeting. Straight away you can join the what, Baba? Zoom meeting. Okay, so after you upload in the deposit slip, Baba, please call the below number 077 555 2298 and ask her to what, Baba? Accept the payment. She will accept the payment then and there. Okay, if you are late means. Okay, fine. Only that much, sir. So if you want, you can continue.
Yeah. So is there any question, children? Because only there are 1 or 2 questions in the chat box. I will be answering that. If you want to ask, unmute and you can talk.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Yeah, walaikum salam. Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah. You can ask. Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. You can ask your question. Hello, I can hear you. Yeah.
Temporary mahram?
Yeah, temporary mahram.
No, so I'm asking, how will a non-Muslim become a temporary mahram?
Because according to Islam, we cannot marry a non-Muslim, right? We cannot marry a non-Muslim. Only Quran has given the permission to marry the people who have following the books. You know what is mean by people who are following the books mean the original Christians and original Jews. Today's world, there are no original Christians and original Jews, right? So we have to marry those who are following the book of Allah, right? Books of Allah. If it is the original Bible, so original Bible says Isa alayhi salam as a prophet, right? According to Taurat, Musa alayhi salam's belief is different belief. It's mentioned that, right? Believe in Allah. But today's Jews are not believing in Allah. They are believing in a different type of God, right? Today's Christians also, they are not believing in Isa alayhi salam as a God. They are believing Isa alayhi salam as a God. They are worshipping statues, right? So if there is any believers of books, particularly I'm talking about the Christians, right? And they strongly believe that Isa alayhi salam was a prophet. We also believe in Allah, I mean, you can marry. That's a Quran's order. Today, there are no people who following correctly that books. Even the Christian, they are worshipping statues. So that is a reason We are not supposed to marry a non-Muslim. So non-Muslims, you can't marry him, so they will automatically temporary mahram. Actually, they are in the ajnabi restriction. That means you can't spend the time alone with them. But in case of, in terms of marriage, if you want to marry her, she should accept Islam. Hope you
Yes,
got
sir.
the answer, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So you're welcome. Pleasure.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah. Walaikum salam. Yeah.
Sir, are always cousins Ajnabis for us?
Yes. Your father's sister's children, or your mother's sister's children, or your mother's brother's children, we call them cousin sisters, right? They all ajnabis for us. They are the immediate blood relation ajnabi. We are not supposed to talk to them alone. You can marry them. You can marry them. In Sri Lanka, mostly I have seen they are treating them like as a sister, but they are not sisters. Huh? They are. You can marry.
Sir, even if they are from our father's brother's daughter or someone?
Yeah. They are all cousin sisters. Huh? Your father's brothers, daughters also you can marry.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, for sure.
I think Umair Kader, your doubt is clear, I think.
Maybe he might have, now exactly the doubt is clear.
Root is also clear.
Yeah, root also clear. Between the lines there is understanding. Yeah, others please, yeah.
Sir, in an instance when the husband is in coma and there is no, they are not sure whether he'll come out alive or not, what should be the decision of the wife?
The husband has gone where? You said what? Foreign. Oh, what? Yeah, I got your question, but you said the husband is somewhere. What is it?
Coma. There he can't.
Coma, right? Coma, right? Okay. During such situation, so even we can say even this husband is in the coma stage, but don't know whether he will be alive or not, he will be returning or not. In such situation, the wife can wait because he is in front of the eyes, right? That husband is in front of wife. In that situation, you are asking the question whether she can marry another one or not, isn't it?
Yes,
Baba,
sir.
don't unmute yourself until sir answer this thing. Huh?
Right? So, in that case, she can't marry another person. You know why? Since the husband is there. Husband, she can see husband, right? He is there in front of, but maybe there's a surety or probability whether he will come alive or not. But the situation comes in a different way. For example, the husband has gone to abroad, right, for the working purpose. So suddenly there is a problem has arisen in the country and civil war happening like in Syria or something else. But you didn't get any information about your husband. Now, no more than 6 months, 7 months has passed. Now the husband is not there in front of your eyes. That means, the visible, right? Visible to you. And no information from that country about your husband. You cannot contact also. In such cases, right, it happened during Umar radiallahu anhu's period also, right? Umar radiallahu anhu's period, one Sahabi lady came to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Umar radiallahu anhu, and asked, Amirul Mu'minin, my husband has gone for the jihad, but almost 3 months has gone, but still he didn't come. So what can I do? Because everybody has kind of emotions, right? So whether I have to wait or whether I can divorce and marry. Right. So then he said, Umar radiallahu anh said, for that situation, during that period, you can wait for 4 months. After 4 months, if your husband didn't come, you can divorce your husband in front of Kali and you can marry another person. Right. But this case is different. Since he's a coma, that means the person is there until he dies. She cannot marry because it will become a polyandry. Right. Suppose Allahu Alam, if he come alive, then it will be a big problem, right? At a time, the two husbands cannot be handled, right? It should not be allowed. It's haram. So the second situation I told, sometimes they're going outing and foreign. In that cases, he told within 2 months I'll be returning, but 7-8 months has gone, but there is no information, no, you can't contact. So in that cases, today's mujtahis, they have told how many months she can accept. It's depend on individual needs. Some girls can wait without husband even 1 year. Some girls cannot wait because they have kind of because the young men very too early. For example, these days they are marrying after within 2 weeks they are going to abroad, right, for the work purpose. So they are contacting each other. It's not a problem. Suddenly such occasions, then 4, 6, 7 months no contact, nothing happened. The country also is turmoil. Then immediately she can divorce and marry another person. So if such a case in coma stage, the doctors are saying, say for example, 100% sure after few, it will take 2 years to die or something else. If she wants to marry another person, she has to divorce. This is also one of the wajib divorce. So in that cases, if she wants to marry another person, only divorce. Otherwise, no problem, because in a young age, or if she has a life to live, right? So coma stage person, so if he recovered also, it will be take time to look after the family. No problem, she can divorce. And if she wants to marry, divorce and marry another person. Even the probability is 100% sure after a few months he will be recovered. But even though she can divorce, no problem, because the divorce is not an issue here. Yeah. The next one, next question.
So, Assalamu alaikum, again it's me.
Wow, alaikum assalam, yeah.
So final question. Now, if a woman is staying in Idda and if she sees her cousin, is her Idda null?
Sees the Idda null cases are not there. Like other ibadat, Idda nullified cases are not there. There are prevented activities are there. There are prohibited activities. For example, during Idda period, they cannot have the nikah agreements, right? During Idda period, certain things are there now prohibited, right? So cousin in the sense you are saying the non-mahram, right? Non-mahram can meet or not, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, non-mahram can meet if there is a necessity. For example, non-mahram, not only the cousin, right? Anyone non-mahram, because if nobody is there to look after her, she wants to earn, then she can go for the job. If she goes for the job, who is there in the office? All non-mahrams, right? So there is a restriction for ajnabi. Restrictions are there, to maintain the ajnabi restriction, then necessary. Because of the necessary, she can go to the job, and she is going to the physician, right? For the clinical treatment purpose, she can go to the doctor. So doctor is who is doctor? He's a non-mahram. So she can go. The necessities will make the things accepted. Necessities. There's a theory also in Islam. The necessities will allow the some certain things more flexible, right? But most of the cases, we always ask the question before marriage. You ask this question, no? Before marriage, normally they don't bother about meeting the cousins actually. So this is, I'm repeating the question actually in a different way. During the Idda period only, we always ask the question whether we can meet cousins or not. Before Idda also cannot meet. If there is a necessity, can meet. For example, I'm coming to a physical tuition classroom, right? And there are more students. Actually, all the children are non-mahram for me. But there is a learning purpose with the number of children and under the supervision of another elderly person, we can do that. Necessities are allowing, right? But just for fun, these cousins are coming and they're having a talk to her. It's not good for her. There is no... what do you call the meaning of staying idda? There is no the word called idda, null, we don't want to say that. It is haram actually. For a necessary purpose, they can meet.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So there are some few questions are there in the chat box. But the same thing I repeated only. So if you want to ask, unmute and ask the question. Until then, I will be asking, explaining some questions are there. Hukukul iba, yeah, ask. Because this topic, if you all unmute and talk only, I can manage it. Otherwise, you all type all the questions here because it's more relevant to connect to your life. Exactly. That's what we muted the chat box. If you want to ask, have the courage, as Hilmi sir said, come and ask the question. I cannot hear you. The hukukullah mean the activities related to man to Allah. Hukukullah mean activity related to man to Allah. The polygamy, again, you're asking, it's a big topic. Polygamy. Polygamy means a man marrying more than one woman at a time. At the same time, marrying more than one woman, maximum 4 can be maintained. The reason why it's permitted, because of kind of a permanent sick disease of the wife, husband can be getting another wife, can marry, or childbirth issues are there, can marry. So such cases, having the first wife and with the permission of first wife can marry. Sunnah muakkada mean, it's a highly recommended sunnah. The sunnah can be divided into two, sunnah muakkada and sunnah ghairu muakkada. Sunnah muakkada mean Rasulullah never ignored that sunnah. Sunnah ghairu muakkada mean sometime Rasulullah didn't perform that. So marriage is a sunnah muakkada. Direct meaning is sunnah muakkada, highly recommended. Yeah, Rahbaniya is haram in Islam, because it's haram in the sense, saying Rahbaniya, if you say that such a way, only haram. For example, I'm not going to marry, I'm not going to do anything, only 100% I'm going to sacrifice my life towards Allah. So this is, then you are going to worldly life, you are going to neglecting it. It's like, rather than saying haram, we can say it's a makruh. But if I say haram, sorry, but makruh is the best word, dislike activity. Yeah? It's like entering to paradise behind the door. Right? You have to come to the society and you have to, it's a kind of a selfish behavior, It's a kind of a selfish behavior. You're not preaching Islam. You're going to stay inside the mosque full day, right? This is not highly recommended in Islam. Will the child female of the person who breastfed to the other child, male, become the child's sister and the mahram to her? Will the child of the person who breastfed? Yeah, definitely. They will become all that breastfed mother will become the mother of that child, and she has own sister, the children, that means the daughters and son, they will become sisters of the child who was breastfed. Right? I don't know who asked this question, but I'm just telling all these questions answer. Huh?
Students, if you have any doubts, please raise your hands now.
What if a girl in Idda wants to make up with her husband? So Idda period, she can make up, no problem. That's divorce. After the divorce, they can do it, no problem.
Sir.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Please, say Zuhad and Rahbaniya same?
No. Zuhud is a moderated, secluded life. That means you are earning money. You have the social life, but you don't have too much of love towards it. I can say a good example, No Limit Hajiar, No Limit Hajiar. He's very rich person. He's very rich person, but he is very simple. You don't have that, the blazer suit. That's such a way he doesn't have. That is we call Zuhud. Sometimes the person is very wealthy enough, but they don't have too much of love behind the dunya, and they will be completing their ibadat proper way. That is we call zuhud. They have marriage life, they have friends, everything is there. They will look after everyone, but even they have enough money, wealth, everything is there. But they, at the same time, they give the responsibility and duties towards Allah. That is we call zuhud, right? Secluded life. Too much of love they don't have on dunya, worldly life. Right? It doesn't mean they ignored. Rahbaniya mean 100% ignoring it, ignoring everything, only 100% committed to the religion. That is not allowed in Islam. Rather than saying haram, it's not allowed. The makruh. Okay, it's not advisable.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, it's pleasure. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Little bit louder.
I don't have questions to ask. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please ask me.
Actually, sir, I don't have any questions to ask today. I want to thank you, actually.
It's fine. It's pleasure.
The explanation was very awesome and nice. Very clear. Jazakumullah khairan again once again.
Barakallahu feekum. It's my pleasure.
You,
it's my pleasure. Okay. Yeah, Barakallahu feekum. Yeah, there are 5 students. Raise a hand. Please ask your questions. Walaikum Assalam, but I can't hear clearly. A bit louder. No, excuse me, I can't hear you. little bit increase your volume and ask the question.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, is it necessary to memorize the Quranic verse of Surah Tahrim, verse number 6 and Surah
No.
Nisa, verse number 34 for the exam?
No. If you can memorize, because if you are going to memorize not only for this lesson, if you take, there are about more than 100, 200 Quranic verses are there. If you memorize it, almost you'll become around 10% Hafiz. No, you don't want to necessarily memorize the Quranic verses. Huh? You understand the Quranic verse meaning. Meaning, understand it. Even I didn't memorize the Quranic verse. I know the meaning. That meaning you can write for the exam. In your own word, you can write the meaning.
I'm asking this question because I'm a Hafiza. Can I write it?
All right, if you memorize it, no problem. You can write the meaning. But my advice is don't write in Arabic. This is the children, those who memorize the Quran. Don't write in Arabic. You know why? If you write in Arabic, the examiners would understand you are a Hafil or you are a Maulavi. Then they will strictly correct the paper. You know, the exam correctors are not Hafil Maulavis, no, just a normal teachers, right? So you write in your own meaning, right? No problem. The Hafil's meaning is an advantage for you. That's better.
All right. Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallah feekum.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, what if a girl has no relative to give me permission to marry her?
That means no relations. She's orphan.
Yeah, sir.
Then the Kali should be getting the permission. You have to go to the Kali. So you have to go for the Nikah. No? You have to go with, if there's at least there will be a guardian in today's world, right? According to Sharia, I'm telling, if there is no wali, no guardians are there, so the last one will be the Kali will be giving the permission, right? He is the one who playing the father role and conduct the agreement, Nikah agreement, and giving the marriage. But today's world, at least there will be a guardian, someone he will be there with their permission. The judge will be the wali. The permission should be there. Permission should be there from mother's side or father's side. No problem. Not for the wali, can be there, but the Qadi will be the wali. So today Sri Lankan law is there. The Sri Lanka's family laws are there. For the orphans, there are judges have separate. That Qadis have separate application formats are there. But I have not come across that situation. But there is a solution. But since there is no guardian, it doesn't mean that you have the full permission to run away. Huh? Okay, so you have to look into that matters. Wali should be there for the nikah. Without wali, you can't marry. That will become a nullified agreement. Agreement will be cancellation.
Exactly.
Barakallah.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, can you explain what is that iddah for talaq ridahi rajahi?
Talaq rajai. Yeah, talaq rajai means, for example, when there is a misunderstanding between husband and wife, right? So talaq will be, first talaq is pronounced. So first talaq pronounced we call talaq rajai. That means revocable talaq, or else we can get her back, or else we can cancel the talaq. There can be two situations in the talaq rajai. One is that 3-month iddah period will be observed after the first talaq, right? The 3-month iddah period, highly recommended, she has to stay with husband. Then only the problem can be resolved between husband and wife during that time, right? So within 3 months, if husband, okay, the problem is resolved, and then they can continue their family life without any problem. So the talaq is cancelled. That is we call revocable talaq. Now he get her back, right? Revocable, right? But 3 months is finished. Problem not solved. Now it will be considered as a separated, right? They will be considered, but not the permanent separation, but it's also talaq rajai, separated. She will go to her mother's place. After 1 or 2 months, husband feels, okay, now the problem, she is alone. No, I want to be the supportive for the girl. Then he wants to have her back. Then if he wants to get her back, he has to go for a new nikah agreement. Just he can't go and take her to the home, right? Nikah agreement should be done. This is the second way of first talaq process. Suppose after the first talaq, within the 3-month period, say for example, after 3 months, 90 days, no, so around 75 days, their problem solved and they got the life normal, right? They're back to the life. Then they are continuing as a husband and wife. Suddenly there is another problem came after around 1 year. Now husband is pronouncing the talaq. That talaq will be second talaq. That is also considered as what? Talaq rajai, revocable talaq. The same process will be applicable. Within 3 months, if he resolve the problem, they will be living as a husband and wife. If not, after 3 months, they will be separated. And if he wants to marry again after 3 months, it should be the new nikah agreement should be done. Okay. Right. Yeah. Next, there are 4 students raise a hand. Unmute yourself and talk. Unmute. You have to unmute. Huh?
So,
Yeah.
when the Quran lists the mahrams, there's something called your right hands possess. That refers to slaves, right?
Yeah, slaves.
So the slaves are mahrams without getting married also.
Because that is those days, no, it's Sharia was given. Even according to Islam, even I'm saying the slaves, there can be 99 slaves without marriage they can have. But today that slave rules are not there, right? During that time, even more than 4 or 5 slaves, I mean the women slaves, right? Not mahram, I'm saying they are not mahram actually. They are not mahram, right? For example, slaves, they are working at home. For example, they are working at home. So suppose if there is any kind of sexual relationship happen between the slave and the owner, in the sense I'm saying that person, right? She will be automatically come as a free person. She is no more slave. She will not be considered as a slave. She will become a free person. She also will have the rights to get the warasat, all those Sharia rules and the regulations applicable on the free man, right? So those days, 99 slaves, they could, possess, they can have it, right? They could have it. But after that, Rasulullah removed that Sharia. It's the Nasikh Mansukh concept is there. The Quranic verses are there, but law is not there. For example, there's an Nasikh Mansukh removal concept is there in Islam. Some Quranic verses are there in the Quran, but the law is not there in today. Sometimes there is a law is applicable, that verses are not there in the Quran, but it's there in the Sunnah, right? Yeah, next one. Yeah, those who raise the hand, you have to unmute and talk. Huh?
I think so. They don't have the courage to unmute and talk. So we'll end the session.
End the session, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Jazakallah khair for joining. And I hope you all benefited. And Jazakallah help me, sir, for arranging such opportunity. And inshallah, if you all, those who are grade 11 students, that means next year O-level students, I think 2020 O-level students, we'll be having our paper class, as I mentioned on the flyers also, continuously January and February, inshallah, you can join it. There will be some online assessments also we are conducting for the students, and the model papers and past papers we are discussing, so you can join it as Hilmi sir showed you all, okay? So Jazakallah khair, barakallah fikum, all the very best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.